Yeah, show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma make, keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways. Kids if he won't take a lazy day. Wifey on me told me take a break. I keep going to the paper straight. Then it's trips out to Montego Bay. If I take the job, bet I get it done. I said it before, I'm a one-on-one. I just caught some ones, only wearing ones. Fornicate the funds, money made me calm. Diamonds on your neck, bet they on your neck. You want that watch, you better rock it tech. You want that chain, you better cop a vest. You want the check, but can you make it stretch? Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault. I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Yeah, show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma make, keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'm a...
The voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
Welcome to the
Wow. Yeah. No, guys. Well,
dark.
what's
days.
going on, people? Welcome to the brand new season
He's
of
in the videos.
Next
I said-
Podcast.
Hold up. Wait a
welcome
minute.
Wow.
to the
Your
next
name right.
podcast.
Guys, it's been absolutely crazy already. As you can hear, like I'm trying to get the show started, and as you
I'm
can
here
hear,
to fuck your
I
ear
am
holes.
I am
Diabetes.
I am
Trying to
getting
get the show started. You got the show
blocked.
started an hour ago.
An hour ago. We start at 8:00. Like it's
Oh,
8:11.
man.
You'd say 11 minutes ago. I got you. You're right. But yo, what's going on, people? Brand new season. That is right. We have a brand new mascot. Senua will be on every one of the thumbnails for this season.
Let's go.
What happened?
I thought you was our new mascot.
No. I put the voting out there on YouTube, and I put Locke in there as well, man. I put Locke, Sonic.
I did not see
Senua.
that. For some reason,
It was on YouTube. It was on YouTube.
You tagged me for a lot of stuff, and for some reason I didn't get tagged for that. I don't understand.
Oh.
Well,
Or maybe you did get tagged.
if you
just didn't
follow
give a
me and
fuck.
you hit the bell, it would have popped up on YouTube.
No,
when I-
it didn't. It didn't pop- it
Hey,
didn't
Locke
pop up.
is missing on this show. He is missing on the game.
Extreme controversy.
That's something. So I mean, why would you not just put that on Twitter and just let the people decide? And
Well,
then just
because
tag you
my
through?
subscribers are the ones that
I mean,
Man, we want to make a 3-hour podcast go 4. So
I know,
let's
exactly.
go on there.
Oh my goodness! All right, guys, let's get down to it. We got a lot to talk about. A brand new season, brand new year. A lot to talk about, and we're talking PlayStation VR. We're talking nails. We're talking nails, maybe. We're talking Ubisoft. A lot of stuff to get into. So let me go down the list real quick. My brother, the inventor of hashtag Crispy Truth. It is Crispy Bomb. What is up, bro?
Oh, we got snow coming, don't we, bro?
Yes.
Yeah, gonna be fun. Yeah, I get it. Virginia, like they're not used to that, but man, like we're gonna get dumped on in the next 2 months. I guarantee it.
Oh, don't say that,
But
man.
yeah, I feel it. Feel it in my bones. Great to be here, and it's been a while, been too long, and let's get into the bot slander, as we like to call it.
Oh,
No, I'm
goodness.
just-
Yes, definitely.
You can tell people miss this show because they're gonna go straight for me. I got the crosshairs on me. But yo, next on the list, we are going straight to the Lone Star State. That is right. This man almost went to sleep because he didn't realize I was working, and I didn't tell him. So that's why we're a little bit late today. But it is Predator. What is up, bro?
I'm sure to go to sleep at some point in the show. Just so you know, I'm tired. Been working all day. So
So have I.
let's get it going, man. We got a lot of shit to talk about, and it's been a while. And I know we got some black on black crime that's gonna happen tonight, some white on white crime that's gonna happen tonight. So we're gonna go off topic a bunch. I'm sure we ain't seen each other, so let's get it going.
Yeah, it already started. I'm already I'm just I don't even want to look into the future right now about what's gonna happen on this show. But yo, next on the list, we're gonna go all the way to the West Coast, and I was telling him off the air. Sometimes I scratch my head wondering how me and this man came together as friends. But I gotta say, at least once a month, he says something that brings it all back into perspective. And of course, that is the angry otter himself, Dark Optimus, our resident pony. What is up?
What's up, man? Happy to be here, dude. It's been a while, dude. What I wasn't here for the Christmas show, which was hilarious because K Mega went off on fucking Crispy. It was hilarious. I was like, yes, finally, Crispy is getting attacked.
Damn,
But no,
he
man.
edited, he looped that one part, and he played it.
I
for
did.
like
I did.
4
I played it.
hours.
I played it for hours, dude. I was just sitting there like, wow, shit. I can't believe K Meg actually went off on him like that. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a good show, dude. I'm excited. Talk about the stuff that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, and yeah, I know you definitely want to chime in on the whole nail polish thing. So, next on the list, the man who has been with me from the beginning. I can't believe we have not gotten tired of each other yet.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
But he's coming live from the 405. And he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. It is my brother K Mega. What is up?
I ain't been trying to talk to no damn body. I've been staying in my little cocoon and playing my Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I said Odyssey, Valhalla. There was no streams, there was no no podcast, there was no video, there was no nothing. It was peace, harmony. Wasn't trying to talk to nobody. But now I'm back. Feels good. Well, it'll probably feel good tomorrow. Today I'm still kind of in my grumpy state. But yeah. And I'm glad that you liked that crispy K Mega truth topic that we had or discussion. It was delicious. I did like it.
I think it was just funny because you said, oh, you just sit there and play Gears all the fucking time. I was just like, oh shit.
You can play Gears with me anytime, anytime, bro.
Well, you talk about listen. I play Gears with.
I'll play MK11. I mean, I'm always on MK11, dude.
I play Gears.
It's already starting.
I played Gears just a couple of days ago with Jean's mom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with D, she we got on there. We played some Gears. I was hoping that she would see us, but she didn't. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, all you gotta do is
might have been working, bro. Like, come on.
I got you. But happy holidays to everybody. I'm glad that we got back. We're doing the damn thing, and so let's get on with the show, man. We back. Back to doing this again. Another year.
Season 5, man. We're not going to let anybody know that the first season was like 2 years.
Right, I was gonna say, I know better than that. This is like 7 years. We pushing for a decade here. We about to get retirement 401ks and shit pop up in here pretty soon. Oh, man.
I got you, bro. And now, everybody who is checking out the show, I hope you like the new aesthetic. Again, I will be messing with it more and more. I'm gonna be I want to get kind of like the chat into the screen as well. I used to use Restream for that, but Restream is not playing fair with me right now. So I'm looking at other options and such. But I hope you guys like the new look. I feel like it really kind of has the gameplay centered right there for you. But we got to get into the first subject, the first topic. Now, Microsoft and Xbox has struck a deal with a company called OPI. And for people who don't know, OPI, they deal with mainly nail polish. That's right, nail polish. Now, the thing is, starting in spring, they're going to have a line of nail polish out that when gamers go ahead and purchase that, they will also be getting codes for certain things within Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5 that kind of adhere to whatever color variant that people are picking up or whatnot. Not only that, but OPI also has a deal where if you spend $20 with them, there is a kind of like purple glitter armor coating in Halo Infinite. Now, when this came out yesterday on social media, I saw people starting to clown this whole thing. And I'm kind of confused as to why. Because when I'm looking at it now, I'm not even taking kind of like society as it is right now. But we all know that gaming is such a huge, huge entertainment venue that millions of people, both men, women, young, old, so many people are involved in that. For some rhyme or reason, people started making fun of this deal that caters to people who would use such things, whether it's a woman or whatnot. And I'm kind of at a loss for words here. Like, there's a lot of Sony extremists out there that really kind of put themselves out there on social media to be chauvinistic in all actuality, just to have an arguing point in a like in console war rhetoric. Um, I don't know. Let's go to Dark Optimus on this one, man. Dark, dude, what do you think
Yeah.
about this deal? I feel like it's just showing that, when it comes down to it, Microsoft, Xbox, they're not just focusing on the male gamer and doing things just for the male gamer, with the Rockstar, this, that, or whatnot, and they're doing other deals that, have the female gamer in mind. Shout out to Grown Women Gaming, by the way, because they actually came out when I started talking about this on social media, and they backed me up on this whole thing. So shout out to them.
Mhm.
It was definitely good. It's hard for me to talk for the female persuasion because I am a man, but Dark, what do you think about this and kind of like the reaction? Like I look at this as something positive where they're they're putting it out there that gaming is more than just that typical teenage to 20 something year old male figure or whatnot, and they're swinging marketing into different avenues now.
Well, people tend to forget that women play video games too. Um, they also forget that transgender and drag uh, gamers are out there as well. Um, they just forget about these people that are
Do they forget though? Do
that
they?
I, I'm pretty dude. I don't know if they forget or they're just blind to it or what. But it makes no sense to me as to why it matters if Xbox decided to make nail polish type of controllers and even nail polish out there. Like, who cares? Like, honestly, I mean, they're making deals that are going to make them money. They don't give a shit about anything else, and people who are dogging it is it just means that you're insecure with yourself to even understand why this is an important thing for a community that not always feels inclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
Like,
great point.
there's there's a lot of people who don't feel included in the gaming community because people try to alienate them and try to say, oh, they don't exist and shit like that, and that's not the case.
Hold on,
These
real quick,
people do.
Christopher. How is it not a sexist thing though? If you go and you're trying to make fun of this and you're asking different dudes, if you can't see the focus in this marketing and what it's focused towards, and Grown Women Gaming told you this on social media, like what makes you like think that wasn't a kind of like sexist thing to do? I know you wanna poke and prod for the whole console war thing, but there's you can see clearly what they're doing here and why they chose to do a deal with OPI. But I'm sorry, Dark. Go ahead.
Yeah, some people just don't want to see that. They're just like, oh well, these people don't exist. These people aren't. I'm a guy. I play games. That's the only thing that exists in this world, and that's not the case, man. Sorry, but you're not the only people who we actually, to be honest, eventually we will be the minority. Us men will be the minority in terms of video games
See, I
and
think
things
it's
like
gonna.
that.
I think it's just gonna be a melting pot again. With
Right, right, right. Well, I mean, I mean, like it'll be like a melting pot of people. I shouldn't have said minority. I should have said it'll be like a melting pot of people. It won't be just men who play video games, and it's not even right now. It's not just men who play video games, and that's the problem is that people think taking something like this for their console war bullshit is funny, and to be honest, it's not because to some of these people out there, they don't feel that like they're included in this community because people like you who act like, well, it's ridiculous that Xbox is doing this. Well, those people don't feel like that. They feel like, oh wow, Xbox is including me in this community, and people should feel included. I'm sorry, but they should.
yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
and
this isn't
and
the
it, and it,
first.
and it, and it boggles my mind that people don't get that.
Well, Dark,
It
this isn't the
fucking
first time that they did this. I remember they kind of teamed up with that doll company.
They did. They did.
right,
American Doll, American Girl, maybe was it American? I think it's American Girl. I'm not sure.
Yeah, back
But yeah,
on
I
the
remember.
Xbox One. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they caught
American
flack
Girl.
for that. They caught
Yeah,
flack
yeah.
for that, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
why? Because like I know there were a lot of young girl gamers that were kind of like excited about something like that, and people out here on social media who just need to argue on a daily basis, like
Mhm. Yeah.
it's insane.
It's just something that they want to argue about when they really don't understand that they forget. I don't know if they just forget or they just don't care or what is going on. There's just something wrong with these people that are just like they don't understand why Microsoft does the things that they do. And honestly, I'm glad that Microsoft is including a lot of people like you know the LGBTQ community, the trans, the drag community, the female community and everything. Like it should be all inclusive. It shouldn't be just this one thing, you know.
Mhm. I hear
But
you, brother.
that's just my opinion.
All right. Let's go to Pred next on this one. Pred, what did you think when you saw this and kind of like the reaction out there from gamers on social media?
Fake news. The same people, same people complaining about this will be the same ones watching some girls Twitch stream that shows her titties. So, I
They'll
mean,
be
very true.
buying her the nail polish because she's like, I want
Subscribe.
it. Like,
Like, no, I'm not
Exactly.
saying like
Yeah.
it's like it's a double standard. Like they'll sit here and watch a girl play a video game half naked, but then make fun of a company that's you know doing things for the female community. I mean, like it's stupid. Like it's fake. It's a fake. You know, backlash basically. It's because it's Xbox. That's the only reason why people are talking
Mhm.
shit. But that's it. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's because it's Xbox doing it. It has
is
nothing to do with
is it a bad
a
thing that
gender
I'm
thing.
I'm I'm thinking about in springtime? I have a sister and I have a mom. When it comes down to it, I'm thinking about spending the $20 so I can get that armor coating
Yeah.
for my character,
Why not?
and I hook them up with some nail polish that they can have fun with. I don't have a problem with that, man. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, there's a demographic of female gamers out there. There's a demographic of people who aren't female, or they transgender or whatever that play video games. Like Doc was saying, like you can't leave out that entire community, especially over this past couple of years when we've seen the hate that comes with those groups, the LBGT community. I can't keep up with all the numbers now, the letters, but like, but there's been a lot of hate in that community too, and a lot of backlash against that community, especially in the gaming industry, just women in general, in the gaming industry. And so you got a company that's siding with another company to create something that's basically for women, and you're hating on it. Like you're just falling in line with all the fake outrage that I say fake outrage, but like the outrage that that's come with some of these major companies doing things against females, right? Like you look at the Activisions and the people, all the lawsuits we've seen recently, um, and then you have another complain and make fun of something like this, but then you're on Twitter acting like, oh my god, I can't believe this company did this with these ladies. Like like make up your mind, pick your stance. Don't sit here and be mad about one company do it and then joke when another company does it. For the female community, the LGBT community, like people just need to grow the fuck up. Right now, it's really just fake outrage because it's Microsoft. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with anything else.
I thought it was insane, man. Like it's as plain as day what they're doing, and kind of like the people that they're kind of like focusing on when it comes to this marketing, and obviously it's not for all people. So I don't instead of like
Yeah, they're not going to market everything just for you. Like, there's
yeah
other people out there that play video games besides yourself. So like there's a
Yep.
whole different demographic out there. And if you don't want to buy nail polish, then guess what? You don't have to. Someone else can do it for you.
like I
You
said,
know, or you can do it for your friends.
I think my mom and my sister are gonna be getting a hookup this spring, man. And in return, I'm gonna be getting in-game content as well. So that's a win-win in my opinion. Crispy, what do you think about this news, bro? What did you think when you saw kind of like this marketing and what's going on between Xbox and OPI, and then of course kind of like the reaction out there, which I really, I guess I should have kind of seen it coming, but I didn't really. Like I was just like, wow, man. But what do you think?
So I just want to confirm something. Basically, they want to match, you know, for the most part, a girl gamer's nails to the controller. Is that what
Well,
we're?
they
Because
have
that's what I read, but
they have a line of colors that they're coming out with. I believe they might also have those colors in Design Lab as well, so you can do it that way. But there's going to be in-game content for Forza Horizon 5. Like if you get this color or this color, you'll
I'm
get
not
like a
worried about. You got to understand, like that's the weird thing. Like I'm like in-game content, like they just. It, I think as a human being, I've always wanted to like match in some way. You know what I mean? Regardless of how some other people feel about it, I feel like I looked in the mirror and I matched some way, and I think like is it a bad thing that girl gamers want to match their controller? I mean, they feel better about themselves. They did the work. They put in the money to purchase these things. I mean, it's kind of baffles my mind that people are getting like kind of outraged over it, and I'm like, um, are you just sitting on your plastic box throne and just sitting there and being like, hell no, you're Xbox, I don't like you? Or are you being a logical person and being like, you know, that's pretty cool if
yeah.
you think about it. Like, if like I don't do my nails. I mean, I don't think any of us on this panel do our nails. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants to do their
You don't know
nails
that, Crispy.
and put a certain color on them, and then because it matches with their controller, is there a problem with that? Like, it's just I'm kind of confused on why we're talking about this, because at the end of the day, if that person wants to do that, they should be able to, and it's actually kind of cool that Xbox is allowing it. I mean, let's be honest.
I think it's cool that that they're focusing on a group like I believe like Dark said that is kind of in the background a lot. You get kind of like these overly kind of like masculine marketing and stuff like that, but that's not 100% of the gaming community. So why not do something for the other demographics that are also gamers that want to feel included as well? I think it's a great idea, man.
I completely agree, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, it's just I don't know. It's just it drives me nuts that people can't see the other side of the coin ever, and it's always about how do I defend myself in my stance, and not about how much we can come together as being humans, and we can worry about everything else later. And I don't think we can get there because we're so defensive on like products and stuff we spend money on. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. Think about it. For somebody to like lose their mind because they love Xbox or PlayStation is absolutely ridiculous. Like threatening people's lives and stuff like that. Where the hell are we as a society when that shit happens on a daily basis? And I hear it from even you guys yourselves, or I see it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, dude. Like, we need to get beyond this and be like, if they want to, match their nails with their fucking controller, why not allow them to do that? Especially when a company's basically putting it out there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry, Sony didn't do it. Big fucking deal. I mean, Xbox does their things. Well, guess what? You have plates on your console that can be changed out now.
Yeah, and
Okay,
there's a
so
pink and a purple and
There's a pink
and a
plate.
that's what I'm
maroon.
saying.
No.
Like, so, like, why? You know,
So-
like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I get a little aggravated. I'm like, dude, like, we're not asking you to, you know, agree with what's going on, but can you accept it? Can you do that? And I feel like I'll talk to like certain, and I'm not like Dark, you're not one of them. You know what I mean? We can have an all out conversation. That's what I love about you.
Hold on
dude.
1 second, Crispy. Offensive bias in the chat. He said games tailored for that demographic would be best. No? And brother, where have you been? There have been games coming out
Have
tailored.
I've
have.
actually
Look
played.
at Tell Me
Ask
Why.
my friend Lady Foxfire, who will be on
I-
Crossfire
I-
tomorrow, and she'll give you a
I've
whole
actually
list of games.
played, and this is where it's the dude bro shooter, but I've actually played just as much time with girls than guys. Okay, it's almost completely equal, and you wouldn't think that a girl, but I'll tell you right now, the 5 I played with will probably whoop my ass in a 1v1. So, what I'm going to tell you is that, you know, Xbox is doing these subtle things. They're not trying to push you into a game or nothing like that. They're doing little subtle things, and if you look at it, it's logical. It makes total sense. Not everybody's, you know, going to be about it, but at the end of the day, can you hate them for doing something that, you know, is not normal? I guess that's the way I feel we're talking about it. It's you know, it's not what you would expect, but at the
Crispy,
same
what
time,
is normal? You know, like that's the thing. Like some people just like act like they're normal, but it's like, are you really normal? Because there's no such thing as normal.
There's no such
You
thing
know
as
what I'm saying?
normal.
You know,
it's your normal. That's why it's the crispy
Yeah.
truth, bro.
Oh.
It's my normal. See? But at the same time, I don't hate you for having your normal. We might argue about it, but I still love you at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
like what he said in the DM about milking Halo. Yeah, yeah.
I knew that was gonna fucking trigger your ass, dude. I
Yo,
knew
thank
that
God,
shit
thank God
was
for
gonna
Pred.
fucking
Pred made
trigger
the
you.
most sense out of that. I didn't even have to respond.
He did. He
afterwards.
did.
Like,
I was like, yeah, I
I
probably shouldn't even say anything because he did make pretty good sense out of that one.
Dun dun dun.
Did we lose Bot?
Awkward silence.
oh shoot! I accidentally muted myself. Nah. I was gonna say, I was switching it over. I was switching over to K Mega, and I was asking Mega, you know, what do you think about this? Are you ready to throw down $20 for the lady, so this way you can get some in game, you know, content for Halo Infinite this spring? What's going on?
Yeah, no. See, that's the thing right there is overall, I mean, what everybody's been saying is true for the most part. You know me, I'm gonna go deeper, more rugged about it. We'll just be real about it. The immaturity of these people that come out and want to make fun of it. They'll tell you that it's just jokes, it's not to be taken seriously. But there's a lot of psychological issues amongst these people that bring it up. And it's mostly men because they are intimidated by strong women gamers. There's some people out there that's intimidated by a group of people of color that plays games and play all different types of games. They, you know, it doesn't matter if, you know, if they're black, white, Asian, whatever, but there's certain people out there that only thinks that like Dark said, that the gaming only revolves around their world. And the reality is that it's been a melting pot. It's just now that the gaming industry is starting to acknowledge the other people besides the same typical person or people or certain group of individuals that they were trying to cater to in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. That's gone. And women are going to be at the forefront because there are more women gamers than there's ever been in gaming history. And so when you look at it from this standpoint of them trying to entice more women to be a part of their product, That's smart. That's not, you know, I mean, these guys, they'll come up here and they're still talking about people being gay and they're thinking that that's like slander to a whole bunch of this person, they doing the console war bullshit, and that person, I heard he likes men. Hey, gay people out here that's just walking around. There's people that's voguing and roguing and doing all types of shit all the time. There's TV shows all over the place. My wife watches a ton of them. Like it's part of the culture now. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
what used to be something that was frowned upon 20 years ago is not the case now. I mean, I see grown ass men wearing nail polish and podcasting. Now, do I find that to be weird?
NBA players, man, NBA players as well.
Right, yeah. But do I find it to be weird? Me personally, I do, but that's not my business. I don't care what sex you like. I don't care what color you are. I don't give a damn. I just want a game. I just want to have a good time. If you're a good, decent person, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And it's just smart business for Xbox and for Sony and for Nintendo to do that and to cater to women. If Xbox is doing it first, then again, that's just another innovating step that Xbox has done to include people that the other companies are too afraid to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the facts. And listen, I didn't see people out here talking crazy when Sony said that they want to make cars. Good for them. They make other things too. They have made other things. And so, you know, they're not just about televisions and radios. They're about wanting to do and broaden their brand. So if Xbox wants to broaden their brands and have and show more inclusion, what's the problem with that? To me, it just sounds like the same old person's, you know, get off my lawn type of
Boys
mentality.
club. Boys
Yeah,
club.
the boys club. Oh, I don't want digital games, and I don't want game services, and I don't want to see women plastered all over the place, and I want to see women in tight clothes and bouncing breasts and fat asses, and I want men to be buff and be men. I don't want them to be. It's not like that. Your time has been up. You can always go grab some old consoles. There's some backwards compatible games that you could go play that still has that. Conan is like that. But the problem is that you have to really look at it from the standpoint of where this is only going to get bigger going forward. I mean, Compulsion Games, that new AAA game that they're going to be coming out with, where they have a black protagonist, female protagonist that is based in that's in fantasy, that's based in the South. Like,
Oh wow,
that's nuts.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, we're going to see more and more of this. We're going to see more people of color on the screen. We're starting to see that now. We're going to see more women. We're going to see people that are part of the I can't say all the letters either. You know, transgender,
LGBTQ.
yeah. You're going to see a lot more of that. So what? If it's not your bag, you don't have to pay for it. That's just like me going into a music store and saying, "Wait a minute, hold up. I see country music over here.
I'm not down with country music.
I'm not down with country music or this. I only just want neo soul, R&B, and hip hop. What is this? What do you mean this is supposed to be for everybody? See, nobody walks into a store and well, there are some really ignorant ass people in the world, but for the most part, most people don't walk into a store and say, "No, I don't want that because that's not for me." They just go and get the things that they like and then keep it moving. That's the same thing here.
Well, you're going old school with that though. Think about it. Like that's what we really, you know, dealt with. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
We really can't do that anymore. Like, it's
what are you talking about? Like,
going into a store and being like, I want this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. I'm talking about
now.
Yeah, there's people that
you want it,
like
you just
that.
click a button.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but I'm saying in the sense of like just overall, like for people to try to make fun of anybody that wants to do something, that wants to be a part of what this nail polish, you know, company is doing with Xbox, and they want to make fun of it. It also shows too the lack of these guys really not having any type of relationships with women. or
Yeah.
Well,
they might
Dude,
they, they don't
I
they don't have
dude,
girlfriends. They don't have
disagree.
they
past
don't have.
past relationships with like gaming girls out there have kind of
Yeah,
definitely have molded kind of like my whole thought process when something like this does come out. It's like, oh well, that makes sense. I look back at like my
Right.
past relationships and I'm like, yo, this, yeah, I know she would definitely do this. She would definitely do this, and like she would have this matching with her controller when she streams, and yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah.
right. Like that's the thing. Like and that's not to be disrespectful to those people that does do that. But I mean, it's obviously there's some kind of disconnect there. Like they either don't have a daughter or a girlfriend or wife or a sister or a friend that's into gaming that they would look at and say, you know what? No, that's pretty damn cool. Instead, they want to get into a groove with a bunch of guys, get into spaces, and then conversate about how how Xbox is now feminizing men. Like
Yeah, I
when
literally
that
showed this
happened.
to my sister. I literally showed this to my sister, and she was all like, "That's fucking cool.
right,
I want a controller, and I want the nail polish." And I was like, "All right."
I just posted that shit. I just posted that shit to my wife, right? And so like the first thing she's like, oh, that nail polish is nice. She's like, oh, and I like that controller too. And my wife is not a gamer. Like there's no
Right.
woman that I've been with that's been an actual avid gamer. But the point of the matter is that but to see that they are including women, that gives a woman to say, you know what, hey, I might check that out. See, there wasn't like that back then. So that's why women was always kind of reluctant to jump in. It is totally different now. And to not want to include any and everybody to be a part of gaming, like, is to me, it's just another just another reason why these people that want to make these stupid jokes shouldn't even be listened to, or that it's not even funny. It like what's funny is to sit here and to talk about something and then post it and whatever. But just to go out and just keep the same rhetoric over and over again about sexuality or color or this and that, and then try to hide behind the joke aspect of it. It's old. It's done. It's dead. And to me, that's the ultimate disrespect, because Xbox is doing this for a business. The OPI company is doing it for business, and this is also this makes women gamers. Even if there's some of them that don't even care about that, or there's some out there that might be like, well, you know what? I've always been interested in wanting to get into gaming, but I never felt like I was included. This might, and I know that sounds crazy, but just those little simple things like
This could
that
be a little push
could
for
do that.
a lot of
Get a
those
little
people.
bit
Yeah.
for a lot of these people. Like, so I mean, that to me is one of the reasons why people have to stop listening to this bullshit like that. I understand that, like Chris, he wants to get into the banter and things but man, you're about 4 years too late, brother. It's time to evolve,
Yo,
because
bias.
now
Yo,
so
bias. Real
slowly.
quick, you can speak for
Yeah,
yourself if you feel you're emasculated, but when it comes down to it, it doesn't have to
man.
be one or the other. All right.
Yeah, see that to me right there is one of the biggest problems, right? It's only not only with the
It's got
problem
to
in
be
the politics,
extremes.
but it's everything else. There's always ultimate extremes. Like me and Chris, we go back and forth about the vaccine situation. It's always to the extremes instead of always being in the middle ground. If you seeing that the console company that you enjoy the most is over here selling something that you will not use, and you feel you feel like you're not masculine enough, or got demasculated, or whatever the other word is, then that's a you problem. How is that? How am I going to sit here and look at something when they're over here promoting, something else that has nothing to do with me, and make me feel like that's going to hurt me? No. So obviously, there's something inside of you, or in any other individual, that feels that way, that, well, oh man, they're just trying to find reasons to take away something from men. No, if you're a damn man, you're a man. There ain't nobody. There's nothing or nobody's going to stop me from being a man. I'm 100% all male, straight alpha. There's nobody, and I mean nobody, will never take that away from me. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that if you have a commercial or an advertisement of a product that you like, and you saying that's hurting and what's making other men out here want to be gay and women want to be gay and shit like that, I think that's the biggest cop out, and that's one of the reasons why we have a problem with it. And we got to stop it.
Yeah, no
Rabbit
doubt.
hole.
I
No
just-
rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, no.
No.
I
No,
felt
this
like
is
this
rabbit hole,
was
just
this
said
was
it.
definitely something that need to be like talked about, because I really feel like some people out there in social media really don't understand like how they're looking. You know, you got like the entire world on social media, and you're coming out and trying to take jabs about something as harmless as this. It's absolutely insane. But yo, shout out to Microsoft and Xbox for, you know, realizing that there's a wider demographic out there, and going ahead and finding companies that are kind of like outside the box in terms of you know, striking deals with and kind of getting things rolling, and trying to get more inclusion in gaming. So shout out to them for that. But we got to move on here.
Or
And
any company that does it. Yeah.
yeah, well, I see them doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they're putting themselves out there first. But we're gonna go from inclusion to the possibility of something being taken away. And I got to shout out Dark Optimus for putting in this this article. Now, this is a rumor, all right, but this is something we definitely have to talk about, because Dark, don't think I forgot. You are the one who got me Final Fantasy 15 all them years ago. And I remember the Xbox community and the hype that was around that game before it came out. Now,
It's just too bad that game wasn't very good. That's the only
I
thing.
mean,
That game was good.
It was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't like, you know, that. Yeah.
all right.
It just
Well,
wasn't.
this article by Gaming Bolt basically says, according to a journalist, Square Enix wants PlayStation to be the home of Final Fantasy this generation, though the company remains committed to PC as well. It says right here, VGC journalist Jordan Midler, specifically where Final Fantasy is concerned, Xbox fans shouldn't hold out hope of seeing mainline games in the series on their platform of choice, according to Midler. Square Enix is firmly in Sony's camp, even beyond what's publicly known. Now, I'm gonna grab the link here, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. But basically stating that this entire generation, whatever mainline Final Fantasy games, according to this rumor, Square is firmly sided with PlayStation, and they only want their games on PlayStation and PC. So, I don't know, Pred. What do you think about this? If the rumor is true, do you think that Square's kind of like shooting themselves in the foot here? What do you think, man? What are your opinions here?
I mean, they're kind of doing that anyway. It seems like it's now they're making it official, to be honest with you. I do think they're leaving out an entire fan base because, like, I look at it this way: like, what are they? It isn't like they were bought out by Sony, or like Sony's giving them more money just to keep games off of Xbox. They're just doing it to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
yeah, they're just siding with them just to do it, and you know, unless there was like some money involved, you know, exchanging the back end that we don't know about, like you're purposely choosing to not put games on another console just because you're friends with somebody.
Just because, like, you know.
Yeah, just because, yeah, like, and that's a choice, you know. So, and even though you got people clamoring on another side to get your games there, you know, you're still choosing not to do it. And yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot. That's just more money you could be making. You know, they've brought games over recently, correct? To Xbox, even though they're late as fuck. But we get
People
them
are waiting
eventually.
for the Final Fantasy VII remake. I know that like people were waiting for that, and now it really just
It seems like it's going to happen. But
yeah.
when they brought games over, they weren't like they were late. Like when they brought them over, like
No,
after the fact, people already
Final
played them.
Fantasy 15 dropped the same day.
What about the previous ones?
I don't know. Dark, do you know? You probably have more knowledge on that than I do. There was a couple that were same day. Like they were pretty much
it was Final Fantasy
multi-platform.
13, Final Fantasy 15 were same day. The ones before that didn't come until later and went into actually they went into Game Pass.
The Final Fantasy Lightning Saga, they all came day
was
and
on
date.
all those were
And
day and date with Xbox.
Yeah, Type 0. Those
Type
were,
0 was there too. Yep.
Yep.
And then I think there was another one. And then I mean even the non Final Fantasy games have been coming to Xbox as well, So
yeah,
it's
Kingdom
just
Hearts.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's always seemed like there's been a better relationship with Sony than has been with Xbox with them. Just off my memory for whatever reason. And if they're siding with them, I mean, like you're gonna pick your sides, and I don't think it's necessary at this point. Like I said, they're not a first party studio, for Sony, but it just seems that way. Maybe they're hoping they get picked up at some point by Sony, but I don't know. I think they're just shooting themselves in the foot by not putting all their games on every system day and date, and just kind of, ransacking Xbox like that and acting like Microsoft doesn't exist. There's gamers there that want to play their games too. So get that same energy later on when Starfield comes out.
Do you think that there might do you think there might have been numbers to kind of like back this up and be like, well, they're not really supporting it on that side, or?
Well, I'm sure there are, because the Xbox community, at least the way some people make it seem, is like there's no gamers over here that play Japanese games, which is, I know, it's complete bullshit.
It is.
But maybe they're not as many, but you can't say that when you actually don't put your games out there. You put all your Japanese games on Sony, and don't actually put them day and date on Xbox. So there's gonna be a drop off there, especially with people who have options to pick it up on PC or their PlayStation 5, and they can't get it on Xbox. Like, of course, those numbers are gonna be skewed. So release on all and see what happens then. I mean, the numbers are going to be skewed more towards the PlayStation 5, but don't act like that, X amount of people buying that game on Xbox don't exist. And that's what they're doing right now. They act like those people aren't there. So, I don't know. I think it's stupid to do that, unless they were like I said, purchased to become a first party studio, or Sony dropped the bag and told them, like, don't do this. I want you to keep your games here. Why are you doing it? It makes no sense to me.
I mean, maybe when it comes down to it, it's not as much development time, not as much money spent. I mean, it's it's in my mind, it's not a great move. Pred, before I move on to somebody else, do you think that by the time it's all said and done, do you think Square will regret making a decision like this? Because you look at what's going on with Xbox now. You've seen what happened over the holidays. You see, Xbox has this momentum, kind of like moving forward. We're looking at another good year. All around in gaming, but also on the Xbox platform as well. So there's nothing but growth going on. Like, why would you decide that this is what you want to do at this point in time when there's growth kind of like everywhere in the industry right now?
I'll go back to what I said. They haven't been purchased by Sony or bought out by them or anything like that. They don't have a binding contract with them, so they can always come back and be like, "Oh, we met with Phil Spencer the other day. We're going to put these games in Game Pass, 4 years from now, or work with Microsoft later on down the road." Like that's not to say that can't happen. I think like voicing that out loud is the fucked up part about it. But they can always come back and be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put this game on Xbox now," and instead of
That's
just
right.
keeping it to some.
PlayStation can deal with all the NFTs, man. We don't
Yeah.
gotta deal with none of that shit. At least with Square, anyway. But yeah, I do. I just think it's weird because I do know a lot of people out there that do look forward to like the Final Fantasy games and stuff, even if 15 wasn't the game that a lot of people really wanted. The franchise in and of itself, it's one of those franchises that when you talk gaming to even somebody who doesn't game, they've pretty much heard the term Final Fantasy before. So it's a huge franchise. I don't know, Crispy. What do you got on this one, bro?
I actually know more about this than a lot of people know.
Uh oh.
Well, like I said earlier, my friend who's a Final Fantasy VII remake fanatic was in the house for 3 days. And imagine up to 8-hour queue times. It's all about the online. This is the reason why some of these games, there's what, 2 of them that are on Xbox technically, I think.
What? What are you talking about?
Final Fantasy.
No, there's way more than 2.
Yeah, well, all kind of like the older ones
Yeah.
have been put into Game Pass. Like they said before, Lightning Saga. I forgot which number that one was. That was actually
13.
my adopted brother. That Lightning.
So there was
he's in love. He's
13.
in love with Lightning. By the way,
There's no online and like for the most part with any of them, or it wasn't substantial enough for them to care.
well,
No, there's a Final Fantasy online, but
That's
that's
14,
There's
right?
there was Final Fantasy 11 that was on the 360. That was online. And
Yeah.
then there's Final Fantasy 14 that's online as well, but
That's
that's
online,
not
yeah.
on.
That's the one
That's not
that
on
caught a
Xbox.
huge comeback.
It
Well,
did, yeah.
Here's my point. He plays online through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and 2.5, 3 weeks ago, he had up to 8-hour queue times. He would actually have to go into his phone and continually to move around every half an hour, or he would be kicked out of it. And this is where if you actually, I can't reference the art. If you search it, I guarantee you'll find it. That Square is wanted to do their own thing on Xbox, and they were like, "No, you can't do that." And from what he told me, that's the single reason why Final Fantasy VII Remake did not come on Xbox, because the online community is so huge and they make shit tons of money off of using.
I didn't think the remake had online.
He's probably talking about Final Fantasy 14.
No, it's 7.
No, it's not 7, dude, because Final Fantasy
It
7 doesn't have
online.
have online. It has to be 14.
He just says Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy to me, so
Oh.
I don't know.
From what I'm hearing, it sounds like this might have been something kind of like back in the day that kind of like soured Square's relationship with Microsoft.
They use separate servers from PlayStation. That's why the queue times are so huge. It's not using PlayStation servers for it. That's basically how he explained it to me, because he doesn't have this problem with any game that's on their servers. It's through, like, he basically uses the PS5 as a throughput, and that's how they run it. And that's where he says like they're not going to do it unless Xbox allows them to do it. You know what I mean? And I go and say like, well, didn't they kind of let Bethesda do that? And they're like, and he's like, no, but they went through, the actual game rather than, changing, like having you go to, like, you remember you play and now all of a sudden you it's a pain in the ass to get into it, but you have to go through the game. You don't go you know, you don't go search it on the internet. Like that's what you would have to do with this game. And I'm like, what the hell's with that? And then he says, oh, I got to sign in now, and it'll be about 6 hours. I swear to God, on my life, it was 6 hours later that he finally got into the game. And I was like, dude, you love this game that much, bro? Like,
Yeah,
I
that sounds
salute
like
you,
14.
dude. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does it take this long to get involved? And dude, PS5
Mr.
sitting
Glass.
right there. I'm just
Mhm.
saying. So I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, Xbox and Square can't get on the same page with that part. I'm telling you, that's got to be what it is because they know that. Like he was like, dude, I'll play Xbox before PlayStation as long as this game's on there. And that's it. Like that's all he said. And I was like, I don't know how you're like, I love Gears, but holy shit, bro, I ain't waiting 8 hours, man. You know what I mean? And he laughed at me, but he just loves that game. And I'm like, man, there's got to be a lot of other people that love that game as much as he does. And I'm like, I just I don't get it, but I'm telling you, it's got something to do with the contract that would involve like the online shit, man. That's what it's got to do with.
Huh. Well, yo, shout out to Gamers Gambit who hit up that super chat. Thank you so much, brother, for the support. That is right, people. The super chat does indeed work. If you have something that you want read out, just hit up that super chat and I will definitely do it for you. He said Square will probably take Sony's bag, then after the deal is over, turn around and put them on Game Pass to acquire another bag. Bro, I mean that does make sense when it comes down to it. You know, these companies they're looking for whatever money they can get, bro.
Looking for
Whatever
bags.
they're looking for bags. Yeah. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for the support. Let's see here. Let's go K Mega. Mega, what do you think? Like, and I really want to go to you on this one because I know all the different types of games you play and stuff. So I don't know if this really kind of like hits home for you or whatnot. But again, it's only a rumor. But what do you think if this is true?
Well, I mean, it's the rumor itself is really fusing because it makes this out to where there won't be any Final Fantasy games coming to the Xbox, but then there's a Final Fantasy game that's slated to be coming out on Xbox this year. So
Is it
and
is it a
that's the
mainline game? Is it like a because that what you're talking about is kind of like your Final Fantasy 15s,
no
the next
no
iteration of
what
that.
from what I got from it, it was like all of these games that had the Final Fantasy title on it. So for instance, Final Fantasy Tactics is supposed to be a remake, and that's supposed to be going to be a console exclusive. And I think that's going to probably be the next game that they'll announce. Now I don't know if that could be another timed exclusive, but it's obvious that this is the strategy that Sony is going. Like they want to hold things for for it was 1 year, but now it's 2 years and beyond or whatever. So, but this I can't Shadow of something. I can't think of the actual name of it, but that's a Final Fantasy game, some Origins that's going to be coming out. Everybody was making fun of the way that the lead guy,
Stranger in Paradise.
yeah, Stranger in Paradise, yeah, Origins or something like that, and that game is going to be coming to Xbox this year. So, and because everybody was making fun of the main protagonist, the way he was dressed, everybody else was dressed clean. Dude looked like he just hopped out of bed and like, let's get ready to fight. I'm ready to get down. So it was pretty funny. But look, this is I'm still going to hold on to this. I'm not, I could be wrong, but and the more and more that Final Fantasy VII Remake doesn't come on Xbox, the more that I don't look right. But I still think that it'll happen. And what the person said in the chat, on the super chat, I feel is absolutely right. They will hold on to these games till nobody wants them anymore, and then they'll drop them on Xbox. And then that gives the opportunity for Xbox to get them on Game Pass. Because it just doesn't make any sense to go and to throw Final Fantasy, throw Kingdom Hearts, throw all these other games that has not ever been on, well, especially the Kingdom Hearts, throw these certain games out on Xbox that hasn't been there and then take them away again. Like, that's just completely bad faith to the Xbox fan base. Like you're over here trying to tell people like, oh, well, we want to get support from the Xbox gamers, but yet you're just going to have to wait until we're done with doing what we're doing with PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever. And that is not, listen, they tried to do that. Now, Final Fantasy is going to be fine. They're still going to sell. But just look at what happened with Titanfall 2 and how disastrous that was. Now, it's also, a brewing pot of just a bunch of mess because they kind of threw Titanfall and with Battlefield and COD and whatever else that was available at that time. And so they kind of got smothered. But Xbox gamers made it clear after what was said that they weren't going to support that game, and they barely supported that game. And then PlayStation gamers didn't support the game. And then the game pretty much was considered a flop. So if you come and then you say, well, we're going to cater to PlayStation only, and then we'll decide here in about
and
3,
PC
4 years.
And PC.
NPC? What we talking about?
No, they said also like there's like it's they're going PlayStation and PC according to the rumor.
Well, I know they're going to PC, but I'm just talking about console aspect of it right here. But yeah, that's the thing too, is that you're going straight to just PlayStation, and then and of course you got PC, but then you're just going to play. I'm talking about consoles only, and then you're just going to just say, okay, here in 3-4 years we'll drop these these games for you. That's not going to fly unless those games are on Game Pass. Now maybe that's some kind of deal that where Microsoft and Square has to where, like, look, man, we want to kind of because I've been saying that's what will get people, if that will get anybody on the PlayStation, the PlayStation stands out there more pissed off and upset, is to see Final Fantasy VII with all the DLC and content be thrown into Game Pass. That's going to get a lot of them pissed off because of the fact that they paid $70 and then for how much that they paid to get the DLC. And then, because I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to have another DLC coming out. I could be wrong, but I thought that they had 2, not just or 3. I don't know, but
they're taking their sweet time adding the next part of Final Fantasy VII Remake. By the way,
well, see this. I mean, they said it was going to take about 2 to 3 years or something like that. So, but they still they had content drop last year. And I'm sure that they're going to have content dropped this year, and then they'll probably be ready to drop the second part of the remake later. But regardless, to me, it's just like maybe Sony and Square has some kind of agreement to where Final Fantasy VII Remake, when it's fully complete, it can be released on Xbox at that point. But for right now, it just stays on PlayStation. The other Final Fantasies like Final Fantasy 16 and all of that, I mean, at this point, like, and then for Spoken, that's 2 years. What that does is what you're going to have is people that's going to not care, or they're going to feel like they're in an alliance of like, look, y'all are just kind of, putting us in the back burner to force us to buy $500. Yeah,
they're alienating the Xbox gamer. And then if you look at all the studios that were acquired by Xbox, like you got 23 studios making first party games. It's going to get to the point where they're going to be like, you know what, we don't need Square.
That was the ultimate point that I was going to make, was that the one thing that where Xbox made the point of getting all of those Western RPG companies or studios, that right there is going to kind of nullify what Final Fantasy is doing. And maybe Final Fantasy, maybe Square Enix looked at that and saying, look, man, there's too much competition in the RPG market over there on Xbox.
Oh, wow.
And they might be more suited to want to play those Western RPGs instead of playing a Final Fantasy, which I disagree. I think it's all, give me as many RPGs as you want to. JRPGs or Western RPGs, I like them all. But maybe how they think is that, look, there's just too much competition out there, and especially with games, these games are going to be available at available day and date when those games drop on Game Pass. And if they're trying to charge you $70 for it, people are going to probably look at that as like, no. And that could also be another part of it because they want to charge $70. And when you got Game Pass, that's right there and available. And people got, they got that value. And then you look at other Xbox games that's going to be $60. That's going to give them a bad taste in the mouth. And just look what happened on the PC with Final Fantasy once it dropped on the Epic Store and it was $70. And there was so many people that was pissed off about it on PC. And it was so much of an uproar that Epic was like, man, we'll just give you a $10 rebate. Here you go. We'll just give you this coupon for $10. And it's just like you paying $60 instead of $70. So that could be another thing too, because Sony is definitely on board with the $70 game point. So I think maybe between those two things, that Xbox has Game Pass and they have all of those Western RPGs under their belt, that they look at that type of that competition and that money aspect, and then they'll look at it, well, Sony doesn't have that. And especially if Xbox keeps all of those those Western RPGs under their umbrella, then that's just more sales for Final Fantasy on PlayStation and overall, and then that will get people to buy a PlayStation and things like that. So I hate it deep down because I feel that if Sony should just acquire Square Enix or just acquire Final Fantasy and then keep it that way. But this gatekeeping shit, like the way that they're doing it, I just, it's gross to me. It really is. And if Xbox was doing the same thing,
why spend the money on acquiring them if they're just like, yeah, we'll just make it on your platform anyway.
Yeah, that's what gives
money.
No, you're right. But that's what gives me the bad taste in my mouth. It's like, come on, Square. Like, I mean, look, there are people out here who want to play your games, but they don't want to. There's people out here that don't want to buy a PlayStation to do it. And so what you're going to do is force people to get a PC or just not get the game anyway. And people aren't going to. There's going to be few people, but the majority of people are not going to spend $500 for a console for just one game. It's just not, unless it's one of those special games. And I just don't, and I don't see a lot of Xbox gamers who would spend $500 just for the Final Fantasy titles alone. It has to be the whole package of what Sony provides for them to want to do that. And I don't know. It just does put a bad taste in my mouth overall. It really does.
I got you, brother. Now, Dark, were you able to chime in on this, or are we going to you now?
I haven't chimed in, no, but I mean, I've kind of chimed in here and there, but
we are definitely going to you now, man. What do you think about this, brother?
Ooh, keep them off Xbox, man. You know what I'm saying? No.
He's like, I'm honestly, so happy, man, I have both systems.
Honestly, I was just like, really? That's so weird. Because I mean, I honestly thought, these games did really good on Xbox. I didn't think that they were, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why they're doing something like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think they're just like Gamers Gambit said in the chat. That's probably the truth. They're probably just gonna try to get that Sony bag, and then once the PlayStation gamers are done with those games and not playing them anymore, they'll get the bag from Xbox, which is it'll just go straight to Game Pass, so they won't get any money from the gamers themselves, but they'll get money from the Game Pass whatever
subscription.
Yeah, subscription. I don't understand it, man. I mean, when I understand if they were like, if it was like back in the day when they were like, oh, we didn't put our games on Xbox, but they've had their games on Xbox since the 360 era. you know.
I think
So it's
360
like
where like in the beginning they weren't really there, and then they kind of
right. They weren't there in the beginning, but it started with like Final Fantasy 13, things like that. You know, there was 11 as well. You know, it started up, and then they were just kind of like, and then now they're just like, no, we're not gonna put any of those games on Xbox, and it's like, why? Like that makes no sense to me because I would think that Square would look at the dollar sign and be like, oh shoot, yeah, we can make some money off of off of this, but it doesn't seem like they want to do that in a way, um, which is weird. Um, I personally think to myself that it's just a matter of time that they'll change that around and do something. You know, they'll make it so that people can um, get these games on a different console and stuff like that. Who knows if they see the sales where you know PlayStation gamers aren't buying these games as much as they used to, then I could see them being like, "Oh, we need to backtrack," you know. But of course, this is just a rumor right now. This is not something that is set in stone because Square hasn't come out and said anything. Um, I I personally don't know if when we'll hear something. We'll probably hear something within the next couple, actually probably in the next couple of days, or at least next week or something.
I'm
Um,
not sure if they're gonna do. They might hold this under wraps. If
yeah,
this is true,
it's
they,
true. Yeah,
they
yeah,
just kind of do it and just keep
you have a
moving.
point there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
mean,
have a
that's
point
how
there.
like Persona's done it. Like, I mean, people keep
Yeah,
so.
which is another series which is Atlas, which is Sega, which is weird because I mean Sega's been putting their games on Xbox, you know, for a while now, and they're starting to bring they started to bring the Yakuza. Honestly, I was one of those people that thought Yakuza was never going to come to Xbox, and eventually it did, dude. I was like, oh shit, okay, I gotta eat crow on that one.
I bought all the Yakuza. I
You
bought all
know,
the Yakuzas except for the ones that never got transferred over. That was on PlayStation 3, and I played at PlayStation 2.
but
I
you
bought
can
them
get the
all.
you get the Kiwami ones, so like those are
No, no,
like the
no.
better
They're
versions.
on PlayStation 3. There was like some spinoffs,
Oh
or
yeah, the spin-offs, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know
Those
you mean.
games are, but yeah, but no, I
Yeah,
bought the full collection. Just
yeah.
last week.
The
Yep,
mainline series, yeah.
yep. The mainline series. Yep.
Um, and I just picked up Lost Judgment, um, the other day,
Yeah.
which is another fantastic type of
Yeah,
Yakuza.
big shout out to Sonic. You know what I'm saying? He hooked me up with Lost Judgment because I was one
Nice.
away and I was like, man, I said this is the last one that I need because I bought Judgment, but then I said, man, I need to get Lost Judgment. And then I said
Yeah.
I wanted to get Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I said, man, so I
Oof,
went ahead and got Guardians of
so
the
good.
Galaxy instead. Yeah, since everybody talked about it, and so he hooked me up with it. So big shout out to him, Sonic Fox, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's just so weird, man. I don't understand this whole. It seems like when gamers are starting to gatekeep, it seems like companies are starting to do that now too. You know, like it's so
Yeah.
weird. It's like okay, um, I don't understand it, but I mean, if they wanna continue to make money in the long run, I think they'll definitely have to put it on multiple consoles and stuff. I mean, it just makes sense to be honest. I mean, unless it's like a full blown exclusive, which Final Fantasy is not. It only makes sense for them to put it on Xbox as well.
Well, but just like K Mega said with Persona as well, that game doesn't have any exclusivity anywhere else, and you don't
Yeah,
see that on Xbox either. So
but you don't even
that,
see that game on PC, so it's like okay.
They're adding
I,
the personas now on PC, but yeah,
are they?
yeah, but Persona 5 is not there yet. I think if the rumors are true about Persona 3 remake coming, or like they're doing a redo or
Hmm.
whatever, If that drops it, and they put that on PC, then I'm pretty sure that PC will get all the rest of the personas and the the SMT or SMT, whatever
Oh,
I-
Shin Megami Tensei.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just we live in a weird time right now
We do.
in gaming.
We
It's
do, man. We
weird.
got people arguing about nail polish. Square saying no.
Yeah,
Square,
dude. It's so
Square saying
weird,
like
man.
no, we don't want to make more money by putting this game on other platforms. We're happy with PlayStation and PC. Again, just rumor, but guys, I do have to let you know, the whole VR hype train is back on track when it comes to the Sony extremists out there, because I believe it was CES. At CES this past week, PlayStation revealed the name of their new virtual reality headset, and guess what it's called? PlayStation VR 2.
Huh, who would have thought?
Incredible! But with that, there was also a blog that came out that actually gave some details as to what to expect in terms of the hardware. So what we're looking at here with the new virtual reality headset for the PS5 is an OLED display at 4K resolution. The headset will support 90 hertz and 120 hertz with a field of view of approximately 110 degrees. Let's see. It'll include 4 cameras on the headset and a controller tracking IR camera for per eye tracking. Your movements and the direction you look at are reflected in the game without the need for an external camera, Sony noted in the blog post. In addition to the new information on the PSVR 2, Sony has announced one of the first new games confirmed to run on the next gen headset is a game called Horizon Call of the Mountain. I did see kind of like the little teaser that they showed, and of course they had the big kind of like satellite dish looking robot, the real big one with the long neck.
Yeah, the tall neck. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
neck.
like to me, it looks like a satellite dish. But that's where
Yeah,
you
it
get
does.
your map anyway. You climb up those
I
things.
mean, it is a satellite dish. You're absolutely
Yeah, pretty
right.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. But so I understand why they would use that and kind of show the scope of that animal, kind of like in the best way that they can in terms of VR. But I mean, when looking at this, the hardware, looking at the OLED 4K, 4 cameras don't necessarily need a camera to track your movements. The headset does that for you. Um, there are new controllers called Sense controllers as well. Now, granted, no pictures, no pictures of any of this stuff whatsoever. They had the name, and then the blog just gave the information. But so of course, Sony fanatics out there, they started pointing to how Xbox doesn't have VR, and kind of like I guess you could say if you're a VR fan, that is something to point out. Before we really get into this, I do want to shout out Noof Nukem, who is in the chat. What is up, brother? Your name is everywhere
Boom,
in the
boom,
chat right now.
kaboom.
It is good to see you, bro. RDNA117, what is going on, bro? Picking up your PS5 this Sunday. Go ahead, bro. But yeah, so we got PlayStation VR 2. Let's see. Let's go Crispy on this one. Crispy, what do you think about this virtual reality headset? The technology behind it, and I want to hear how much you think this thing would cost, bro.
Okay. All right. They said, what did they say? Up to 4K or 4K?
4K.
Up to, I think.
I'm telling you, PlayStation's dirty with those words. I'm just saying, dude. They've done this before. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't look as good as you would think they would, but the point is, I don't know, that play with words is a little something that I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, you go and look at what Xbox is doing right now. It's like full on transparency. It's like, fuck it. We're just going to throw our whole shit out there.
They're like, yes,
and like,
buy nail polish.
and it's and it's like, you know, like something tweets it out, and then, you know, like the Xbox account and everything else, everybody else is just like following through, like Sarah Bond, like Aaron Greenberg, you know what I mean? Like it's a little, I don't know, like, you know, coached, you know, like Phil's coaching them, like, and then PlayStation's like, no, fuck it, here you go. And it's like, well, I actually love that too. Like, I love once in a while you're just like, nah, fuck it, here we go. You haven't seen it in a while. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I understand this is so petty, it's unbelievable, but it's still got a wire. And
it's got one wire. You are right.
And the only reason why I say this is because my girlfriend's son has been non-stopping. Like it charges, he plays it. Oculus Quest 2. Okay? And he has been non-stopping it. And he's playing like games that, like, you know, I get it. Like, you love those third-person, story-driven, like cinematic, great-looking games. Not saying they're not. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's playing like this simplistic thing. And it sounds like the damn, like, because I'm below his freaking room, and it sounds like the whole fucking ceiling is gonna come down on me. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden I'll hear him smash into something. And be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? But it's all wireless. So like he's not hurting. Like, yes, he's broke the controllers once already, by the way. He's broken them. He's
how old is he?
He's 14, but
14.
he's freaking huge. The kid's as tall as me. He's 6'1" already. Like,
wow, he's gonna be.
He is
my
huge.
Son's 6'6". So
like,
I'm only
so
5'10".
he
How
is.
tall is your son?
He is a
6'6".
massive kid.
Your kid is 6'6", bot?
Yeah, and I'm 5'10".
What the fuck happened to you,
Where
man?
where the one little, you know, straggly thing shoot out? Like, where did that
Well, dude,
happen?
I didn't grow up drinking all the steroid infested milk that he did. So you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it was.
Oh,
I just
blame
had
it
regular
on
milk.
that.
I just had regular
Damn,
milk.
blame it on the yeah, damn.
But in all seriousness, like, I feel like nowadays, because of Oculus, because that's, I mean, you could say you're trying to compete with Xbox, and that's what everybody brings up, but Xbox is not trying to compete with that right now. They're not. So you're trying to compete with Oculus, and I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't know. They're on another level, and they already have a huge player base. Like, you know, you could sit here and tell me like, oh, it's about Xbox, and that's all I ever hear about. I'm like, dude, Xbox ain't doing VR, bro. Like, the only thing I point out is that they had just, you know, like what, past 6 months or something, done a little quiet little partnership with Facebook, right? And at the end of the day, there's your Oculus, there's your metaverse.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? So in all realism, the one thing that they have is not having that cord. And I'll tell you right now, I look at it and I say, imagine having a cord attached to that PS5. Think about that. Would you be a little nervous? I think I would. Especially with a 14-year-old stomping around like a fucking wild man. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but with the cord, one thing I will say, with the cord is going to guarantee better graphics than if it was completely untethered.
And I expect that to be a rip cord, because I'll tell you right now, it sounds like he's just stumbling
like
into the walls.
OG Xbox controllers. Remember they had the thing right in the middle that would pop up, that would pop off.
That's better than your PS5 falling over.
That definitely is, man. Well, you got to screw in the base is what you got to do, man.
That doesn't matter. You can still, dude, I could literally push my Xbox right now. It would just teeter totter and then go back the way it was. The PlayStation, you hit that shit once at like a good push force, that thing's done. And imagine somebody like it's wrapped around, you know, the freaking coffee table or the fucking the love seat or something. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden they just jerk the right way, and boom, that shit's gone. And that's look, you know,
Crispy
you
just
could
say
say
jerk the right way.
PlayStation. You could say PlayStation 4. Most of them were horizontal. This one seems to like everybody has it vertical, and it's like, oh, dude. Like I can have my Series X vertical, and I have zero concern about it. I could put it on the floor. I've seen people put it in their beds, for the love of God.
What?
The thing runs, okay?
I don't want to know what they do after it is in their beds. I've seen some 360
Well,
pictures.
well,
man.
we all know about PlayStation's fetish with YouPorn, so I mean, come on.
Dude, I saw
but
oh man, I saw that video. I'm like, yo, really? That dude's going at it. That dude's going at it like the plastic. Yo, you saw that too, right, K-Mega?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but let's be honest, like, dude, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's still niche. I mean, people could say it's not, but the biggest problem is that PlayStation waited so long to give you a quality thing. And what did Phil keep saying? I want wireless. And it's kind of weird now to think about, but he kind of has a point, because I'll tell you right now, Oculus is owning this shit right now.
Well, I'm hearing also that there's a really good chance that Half-Life Alyx will be available on PlayStation's new VR headset as well, and I feel like that is
and actually you had another question. You had another question. I believe it's going to be the cost of the console. I believe it's going to be $500.
500. That
Yes.
sounds about right. That sounds so like that and the system put together. You're looking at a G.
No.
You're looking at a G right there. I'll agree with you on that one. Let's see. Let's go dark on this one. He is a resident pony. He's got to be super excited about eye herpes, man. What's the deal?
Yeah, man. Absolutely ecstatic about eye herpes.
Eye herpes all day.
Yeah, man. Just want it all up in my eye.
I just had the nastiest picture in my head too. Thank you so much, dude. Why did I bring it up? I can only blame myself.
Honestly, it's really good for me. It's going to come down to price. I like that they're coming out with the only reason why I think I would actually buy this is because of the fact that I know that the games are gonna be there for the PSVR. I know that there's games for Oculus Quest, but there's not very many games that I'm like interested in on there. You know, like the only one I really wanted to play was Half-Life Alyx, to be honest. And you still need a cord
wasn't
to play that one.
announced yet. That wasn't announced.
Right.
It's coming. But the only game that was announced was the whole Horizon, kind of like
Horizon
side game.
Yeah, which kind of intrigues me a little bit. I think that's kind of cool.
Watch
But
this grapple onto the ghost. My bad. I'm watching my game.
But there's a I think it's really gonna come down to price, and if it's $500, I don't know how many people are gonna gravitate towards that. You know, like I think there will be the hardcore people who will gravitate towards it. Like, you know, the ones who are like who just want to sit there and brag that they actually got it, you know. But I don't know how many people are.
Hold on, one second. Now, hold on, real quick. Now, Crispy, I got to bring you back into this because you said $500. Is that $500 with the Sense controllers, or $500 by itself using a dual sense, and then you would have to buy the Sense controllers extra?
Well, I mean, I think that would be $500 for the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, now that sounds too cheap, to be really honest with you, man. Like with the I can see them selling the headset for $5
and then selling the controllers
separately.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with the PSVR 1.
Yes, they did.
You could either get the bundle that has the controllers and the headset, or you can get just the headset, which was I think it was like $299 for the headset just by itself. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's something that's gonna sustain people to actually get that. I don't know if it's something that people are actually excited for. I haven't really heard too many people say that they're excited for it, that they really want it. Um, I'm just kind of seeing people online and stuff like that, and people like that I talk to in terms of real life, who are just like, oh, they're coming out with another VR. Oh, okay, cool. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it doesn't seem like too many people are like, holy shit. Of course you get those hardcore
Well,
gamers that are
your
like,
buddy Brap hit social media and tried to like put up numbers on people playing VR and all. Really
I
try.
didn't,
He was like
I,
pleading
I
a
didn't,
case. Like,
I didn't see that, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't usually see certain things like that, but I personally don't. I don't know. It's like I said, it's gonna have to come down to um, it's gonna have to come down to
price.
a yeah, price, and I think for me personally, I will probably get it if it's a decent price.
Okay, I got you, bro. Let's go K Mega on this one. Mega, I know you love the eye herpes. What do you think about the PlayStation VR 2? The specs wise, and what do you think the price is going to be, man?
I mean, it sounds interesting, sounds cool, for people who are into it. I mean, I agree with Crispy, because when I was looking at the comments, to check it out, and see, this is another indication that it's going to be expensive because they didn't give you the price right then and there. So,
They're
um,
waiting on that one.
they're waiting on it. Usually, when they're hyped about something right off the bat and they know that it's going to be affordable, then they show the price right with it. Like right when they announce it, they're like, "Oh, when it's $3.99 or whatever." So,
like like
it's
when
two
they
ninety
did the
nine.
PlayStation, the
Right,
original
right, yeah,
PlayStation,
yeah. When
one
they did
ninety
the
nine.
original PlayStation, or they did the when they did the PlayStation 4, they let you know the price right off the bat.
Hmm.
Like it was pretty funny because they didn't talk. They did the same thing with the other VR. I thought they waited
They
instead of
did.
telling you the price. Okay, so this is definitely going to be around 400 or 500. I think there'll be the package deal around probably 500, probably be around 400. If it's 399, then they'll be in the ballpark of being competitive. If it's 400 and higher, yeah, I agree with Dark. Like, I mean, that's going to get the hardcore, but that's still not going to, I mean, people
Especially
do
since the
want to.
Oculus Quest is only like what, 299, 399.
Yeah, it's 299. Yeah, it's 299. Yeah, because my son got one, and that was another thing too. Is that, like, look, I mean, he brought it up. He brought it to Christmas, and he kept talking to people to want to play it and stuff, and so people was playing it, and then he had a couple of cousins and stuff playing on it and stuff, and then they start sweating, and then they had to wipe it down, and he was like, "Here, put it on." I'm like, "Hell
Hell no.
no, 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 no." But it's cool. I mean, I tried it on for the first time when he brought it over.
Pre
And
sweat.
it's cool.
Before the sweat.
Oh yeah, no, he brought it out the bag. He didn't, he took it out, the bag and everything. And so it was brand new, and he just set it up and then he put it on. So there wasn't no sweat, nothing like that. So, but even when I played it, right, like I was playing Super Hot, and then I played another game. I can't remember what the other game was, but I played Super Hot. I started sweating in that thing. I had a fun playing it, but I was also like, you know what? It's cool.
Shit's not
Um,
comfortable though.
well, it's but I mean, I'm swinging and I'm about to punch my TV because I kept, I'm walking up I'm not letting shit come up to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, to get settled up, I'm walking to you and I'm gonna punch you or throw a gun at you or
Yo,
something.
K
So
Mega gets up, starts walking away. Yo, Lady Mega's like, "Where you going?" "I'm going to the laundry room. I'm about to play some
yeah,
VR."
yeah. I'm going
There
into the
it goes.
garage. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll be back. Right, punching car windows and shit. Anyway, so But the point, I'm
What
go
up,
out in the backyard,
motherfucker?
people go crazy. Yeah, but that's another thing though too that the convenience of it is the fact that it is wireless, and for those, so if it has the option to where it can be wireless and work, and you just have drop in fidelity or whatever like that, then that shouldn't be a problem. But if you have to have that hooked up, then that's what's going to be a problem, because that's what I read in the comments. Like, I mean, and as petty as that sounds, like Crispy said, it's still that was one of the biggest talks. That was one of the biggest reasons why people were having a problem with it, was because of the wire. They weren't even caring about the price or anything like that. They thought that everything that they were offering with it was cool, but it was something about that wire that got them off this off.
Can I
Yeah.
say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Imagine a 14-year-old, okay, he is starting to become a man. He's not, and he falls down the stairs because after continuously times we tell him, don't wear socks when you walk down the wooden stairs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he continues to do it. It's like, dude, it's like,
Dude,
I love you to death, but what the fuck?
I think
You know what I mean?
To my family and my son,
But
crazy.
that's something that like you can go and say, but at the end of the day, like he's the demographic that really loves that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that wire, I'm telling you, when it breaks your PS5, I don't want to hear about it, because I'm warning you. It might not be you, it might be your son, daughter, whatever. But at the end of the day, like that wire is actually bigger. Like I said, have a rip cord where it just pulls out if you go and walk away from the situation, or you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. Like I'm a little worried about that.
Is somebody eating?
That's the ice muncher of the ice
That's
machine
me
over
too,
there.
ice, my bad.
Fred. Yeah. So, but no, that's just how I feel about it. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where because we see somebody doing a Mortal Kombat leg sweep. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty cool when I seen it, but when they had on but I thought that they had a Vive on. An Oculus 2 on, not a PlayStation. Because just think about you over here doing leg sweeps and punches and things like that, and you got that wire flipping around and going around. And let's say that you're doing all that stuff, and that wire wraps around you, and of course it'll.
I was going to say, you do a leg sweep, it goes right around your neck.
Right. Well, it goes around you, and then you popping it out, and then they can't have it to where it's got to be a solid. That it can't just pop out easily. If it's in there and it stays stuck, and you can't, if you can't accidentally make a mistake and that wire brings down your PlayStation 5, then you're losing a blade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I understand why people complaining about the wire situation, but overall though, it seems like there's some PlayStation fans that are excited about it and have at it. If that thing is $400 or less, I think that would probably be a bargain for them. But I agree with Crispy. I think that the whole package deal will be probably around $500, and then but without the joysticks or whatever the hell.
I would say package deal if it has the Sense controllers with the haptic feedback, all that good stuff. Like that's a decent deal.
Yeah, for 500. That they can't go no higher than that. If they go higher than that, that thing is dead on arrival. Yeah, it's dead. It's dead.
You don't think they go 1,000 like an iPhone or something? You don't think they would do that?
No, look, okay, it's a phone is
off release
using it all that.
So Sony's using Apple tactics, by the way.
Yeah, they are, but you can't come out with a peripheral. It's the same thing that I said about the other, because you seen the sales didn't blow up when they first offered that, nor the PlayStation Pro just flew off the shelves. It was the PlayStation Slim that flew off the shelves, and the original PlayStation 4. So you got this peripheral and you're charging $500 again, and then you're going to charge more money for these haptic triggers. No, man. I mean,
It sounds like
it's
the
not happening.
Xbox One generation.
Yeah,
Think
people
about it.
will wait. Yeah, people will wait, and they'll wait till the price goes down to around $299, and then they'll jump on it, and then people start bragging. Oh, look at the sales! It's up. Yeah, because they lost. But yeah, no, not day one. I don't know, man. That's my thoughts on it.
All right. Well, yo, Pred, what do you think about the PlayStation VR 2 in terms of like spec wise, and of course I want to hear what you think the price would be as well.
I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody else, about $500. I think that's a little on the high end, to be honest with you, but I could see them doing 500. Um, Anything higher than that, especially you start adding other stuff. Keep in mind, from my understanding, you got to have a PlayStation 5 to play this, to use this as well. So not only do you have to have a PlayStation 5, you gotta pay for this as well. So that's already $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
If that's what we're gonna go into. But so I would say 5, but I can see them doing some shady shit too. But my issue isn't the PSVR, it's the games. I think you might brought that up. Like they kind of didn't really come out with a lot of games there at the end of the generation for the PSVR, right? I mean,
Dude,
I don't remember
they
seeing.
they started strong with experiences, but
Yeah,
then they hung their hat on like the Iron Man game.
yeah. I mean, they might have like maybe like, especially at the end of it, like the PS4 era, like you might have gotten 1 or 2 good games a year, and I wouldn't say they were good. They were just like experiences, I guess. I don't know. I've never played it, but it didn't seem like there's a lot of stuff coming out. And somebody who plays PSVR, I'm sure, will correct me here in the chat or something like that. But it didn't seem like there was a lot of offerings there, especially from the first party side. Like everything really came from like in-game experiences. You still have to buy the $60 game to get that. It wasn't like a standalone PSVR title. It was like a add-on to the game or something like that. But so that's my biggest concern. Like, are they going to support it? Even though they have a lot of studios and stuff like that that work on VR type stuff, but it didn't seem like the offerings were there when it came to the game. So you're telling me I had to buy a $500 console. God knows how much the PSVR is going to be, and you're only going to come out with like really 3 games a year. It's almost not worth it to me, even if that's the experience I want to get. So,
Pred, you bring up a great point, and because a lot of people were talking about, oh, this person has the Quest 2, or this person has the Quest 2, and a lot of the VR kind of like industry is revolving around the most popular hardware, and the most popular hardware isn't really kind of like demanding in terms of power or whatnot. So they would literally, Sony would have to support this thing pretty much on their own, whether it's second party deals, you know what I'm saying, or just their own studios coming up with these games, because the main games that are coming out for VR, they're aiming at Quest 2 for it all.
yeah, and that's the other part too. Like, I think for PSVR to be successful in any aspect, especially when you can't get your hands on a PlayStation 5 right now, is their PSVR games need to be, I guess, say multi-plat. Like they have to be on Oculus. They need to be on, on PC as well. If they're just tied to the PlayStation, like I said, in a time when you can't even get one, then how successful are they going to be with those games? So they kind of go hand in hand. Now, at some point, the consoles will come out. We can find them somewhere. But as it is right now, if you can't get a console, how likely are you going to get a PSVR 2? Even if you wanted one and could find one, you still got to have a console to play it. So, and with the chip shortages and stuff like that going on, like who knows how abundant those things are going to be out in the wild in the first place. So, the wire isn't a big issue to me. I heard Crispy talk about the cord and stuff like that. I can see somebody knocking some shit over, to be honest with you. But I can see those videos playing up my head now, but it's just one cord as opposed to if you remember how it was when it first came out, there were like fucking 30. Um, so so they're making strides in that area. The spec wise, it sounds good on paper. Let's see what the performance is gonna be like. It sounds
Makes
good,
sense.
but we'll see
Yeah,
what the
we gotta
performance.
see how it performs, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, like putting stuff on specs on paper and actually putting the game in and seeing what it runs like is two different experiences. So um, I don't know. I'm not a PSVR fan. I've kind of been like I thought it was a fad, something cool to do for a little bit, and then all right, take the shit off my head. Let me get back on some Battlefield type shit. But um, I don't know. I mean, it's an expensive toy. Put it that way. It's gonna be an expensive toy.
It's definitely it's an expensive toy for like something that hasn't really been developed to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
son has um I think the Vive, right? And I played like Beat Saber on it. He's got a shooting game. I forgot the name of that one, but like he always went back to kind of like Beat Saber, which is a more kind of like simplistic type game.
Mhm.
Like it really hasn't been fully kind of like developed for. You know what I'm saying? So I know if they get Half-Life Alex, I feel like that is the epitome of a VR game. I'm still not sure with Horizon, kind of like Call of Mountain, whether that's kind of like a tour guide type game. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Fred?
They didn't really show much of that, So here's another thing too. With them increasing the prices of their games to $70, how much are VR games like?
They're gonna be $70, bro.
Oh no.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They
Because most of
can't.
the PSVR
They
games
can't.
like $30, right?
Mhm.
I
And
would
then they'll
40?
probably be like 40.
maybe 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oof.
is that going to be worth it? Yeah, for and I don't know how long some of these games are either. Like Beat
I
Saber's
think
one you could probably play forever.
I think Call of Mountain is going to be a $70 game. If they get Half-Life Alex, I think that's going to be a $70 game.
Well, Half-Life Alex is it $70 or $60 now?
I
uh,
don't
Let me
think
look.
so.
I saw it on sale not
I'm
too
gonna
long
check.
ago.
I mean, when it first came out,
Yeah, it was $60. Yeah.
I
was
don't
it? Wow,
think
yeah,
it was.
that's crazy. Yeah, I can see myself spending that much money on a PlayStation VR game. I'm sorry. It was 36.
$59.99, brother.
Was it?
$59.99.
Yeah, it was $60 when it first came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because Half-Life Elix, or however you say it, that's the standard, Alex. That's the standard. That's the one that everybody has been waiting for VR to hit that plateau on mostly all those games, so that's the standard. So I can understand the $60 price point for that. But if Sony comes out and try to ask for $70 for something that's not even on that level of quality, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be my
It should
biggest
get trashed.
after spending all that money on the
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 and the PSVR system, and then you got to spend $60 on the game too.
And is anything compatible from the old PlayStation
That
VR?
was gonna be my next thing too.
Yeah.
Um,
we
They
don't
haven't
know
said
that.
anything. I mean, they should.
'cause
It should
you
be.
can play the old PSVR games from the
I
4
feel
on the
I feel
5,
like
right?
they're announcing way before they should, in my opinion.
And did they give a release date?
No.
No. But it was just it was something at CES.
It's like a concept.
It's CES. Let people know that the hardware is coming. There were no pictures or
CES as well. CES, you bring out concepts.
Well, CES
I don't know.
is where
I don't know.
and
Like,
Bill brought out the OG Xbox. So
yeah. Well, I mean, how many years ago was that? I'm just saying,
a long
dude.
time ago, bro. Long time ago. What, 2000?
It's about eyes on the prize, or like if you're really trying to throw it out there, you should be throwing it on, the Game Awards or E3. And
Well,
I don't know. I feel like now, like that we've talked about it, it's like a concept phase. It's almost like we're showing this because we feel we have to. You know what I mean? And that's what scares me for the people that are going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Not for me. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not sitting here bullshitting. It's just, for the people that are going to purchase it and possibly spend $500. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, good luck. I hope it's all well.
I got you, bro. I got you, man. It's going to be interesting. I think they had to let people know that it's still coming. I do know chip shortages and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly when this thing is going to release. I have a feeling it's not this year. I feel like they use CES to kind of put some of the specs out there, uh, and try to get people hyped for it. But they got the next Horizon coming out, the next God of War. They got games that are going to be coming out in 2022. I feel like this headset might be a 2023 type situation. But it's going to be interesting to see. I want to see exactly what it looks like, and I'm really interested to see what the pricing is going to be like, because with the specs, your 4K OLED screen, in a virtual reality headset, you got tracking built into the headset. You got Sony's kind of like patented haptic feedback in the Sense controllers. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what the price is going to be, what the bundles are going to be, all that good stuff. Shout out to All Digital. He says it's going to sell out, and there are enough PS5s out there in the wild. Now, bro,
He's right. He will sell out though.
I mean, the Jaguar sold out when it first came out too. I mean, I had one.
Damn, come on.
Oh, damn, bro.
But no, I'm just saying.
What?
I'm just saying.
You throwing shade upon shade,
just
bro.
just
Come
talk
on.
about. Well, I said I had one too, man. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I
But
played one too, bro.
I had one. I owned one, sir. But I know.
Well, God rest your soul, bro. I'm sorry. you gotta lose that thought
Hey, the
process.
Bruce Lee-
You
the-
hate a Jaguar.
The Bruce Lee game was fire, by the way. The Bruce Lee game was absolute fire. It's just that was the only game that was fire.
Okay. I mean, played better on Sega, but that's
They
fine.
had Primal Rage. Played good on the Jaguar.
Actually, yeah, I didn't have that.
Primal Rage played way better on Sega.
My Jaguar controller, I was
better.
so
The
confused.
Jaguar was more powerful than the Sega.
And no, it still played
not
better.
The Sega, not the Sega
ported, I mean,
Saturn, but not the Sega, but the Sega, it was more powerful than the Sega Genesis though, by far. Jaguar.
The 32-bit, I don't know, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
pretty
no,
close.
Jaguar
32-bit was pretty close.
Jaguar was powerful.
It wasn't that far off. It wasn't
as powerful as the Saturn, but no, not the Saturn was a monster. But
all right, guys, check this out. I want to talk about subscriptions real quick before we kind of wind this down.
Oh, so no predictions?
No,
No,
too much.
We lost all the.
I was looking forward to predictions.
We can try to do that next week, but dude, the news just started coming out like crazy, and it's like, well, are we gonna do that or this? And like, I was like, man, we got all these topics. So, but it was announced today that Ubisoft Plus will be coming to Xbox. Now, people got really
That was
excited.
actually yesterday, but
Oh, it was yesterday. All right. Well, my whole week's been a blur. I've been working most of the week. So, okay. So yesterday, and people were getting really excited, thinking that it's going to roll into Game Pass. Now, so far, this is a separate subscription service for Ubisoft games. I believe it's $15 a month. But I think the interesting thing was when Ubisoft kind of like tweeted this out yesterday, Dark. They were like, basically great news. Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox, and basically telling you to kind of like wait for more announcements, pretty much, coming down the line. And they're like, well, while you're waiting, you can play what is it, Rainbow Six Extraction?
Extraction.
Yeah, it's Rainbow Six Extraction will be in Game Pass day and date, which is crazy, absolutely crazy, man. Dude, I cannot say, I cannot say enough times like how much Game Pass, like how much of a value it is, how it is such a good deal, man. Every time I turn around, they're putting in games like I want to play, um, or games I have interest in that I probably wouldn't have bought, but it's like, hey, it's coming right into the service. Why not check it out? But I think a lot of people are saying that Ubisoft is kind of like testing Game Pass with Extraction, and they bring in Ubisoft Plus over, and there's a possibility that in the future this can kind of all roll together into Game Pass with EA, uh, and whatnot. So I don't know, Pred. What do you think about this? Is the whole Ubisoft Plus thing, is this a big deal for the Xbox platform? And what do you think about people saying that this is kind of like a test? It's starting with Extraction, but they're Ubisoft has their eyes on how many people are going to play the game or whatnot, and eventually they might strike a deal to roll Game Pass, EA Play, and Ubisoft Plus all together.
They got something in the works there because they said, there's more coming later. But I think right now it's just going to be an app on Xbox right now, kind of like EA Play was, or EA Play, EA Access, whatever it was back then. And then maybe, a couple of years down the road, they'll roll it into there. Because one of the things I said about these subscription services, like you got to have constant content coming in, whereas Microsoft has been able to do that. Uplay and EA Access have only been able to put their games in there, which they don't make a lot of. Like they can't do day and date with those, like Microsoft is doing. They're not getting games like Outriders and these other companies dropping games into those systems, into those services like Microsoft is doing. So it eventually dies out, and it's just like if you look at back at, I guess, what Ubisoft has come out with in the last couple of years, you got Ghost Recon, you got uh Jesus Christ, Far Cry, and they didn't come day and date. Those games don't come in unless you have the premium part of it. But they're not dropping in the service like Microsoft's doing. Like you have to have that premium service to get those games. So, but that's it. They're not getting in, any other games. They're just getting in their games that they're making. So I think that's what separates Game Pass from everything else. And so with EA, they kind of realized that, and so they kind of hey, let's kind of put some stuff on Game Pass too. And now you got UPlay about to do the same thing. They're gonna come on there as an app, and then they'll slowly transition into Game Pass as well. I don't know if they're going to add an increased cost to that, or maybe not going forward. I think they'll be like, maybe let's say it's a $5 or $10 subscription, per month added on. But I would hope eventually they kind of just transition into Game Pass like EA did. But I also realized there's no mention of them putting the service on PlayStation either. At least we haven't heard. So if it's just going to be an app, they could put that app on PlayStation too, because they have it. They have UPlay with Stadia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
yeah.
which obviously isn't working. So yeah, they got to put it somewhere. They tried it with Stadia and it wasn't working out. And they see the success Game Pass is having, so yeah, why not? But you notice again, like they were doing it with Stadia, they weren't doing it with Xbox or PlayStation at the time, and here they are, putting it into Xbox to test the waters, but they did not put it into Sony. So we'll see. I mean, I could see them kind of merging into Game Pass, but just not right now. Give it some time. Give it about a year or so, and then maybe they'll do it. But yeah, I mean, it's. I want to say it's big news, but if I gotta pay extra for it, then it's not big news to
Yeah,
me.
for real.
For their games, I'd rather just buy them outright. They don't have enough in there to make me want to pay $10 a month for, to be honest with you. And then with them doing all this weird NFT, whatever the fuck shit they're doing too, like, nah, I'm good. I'll just buy my Assassin's Creeds and Ghost Recons and shit like that outright.
And Splinter Cell, like down the line.
Whenever it comes out. But keep in mind they've kind of changed the structure with the company too. They're trying to go into a more game as a service structure too. So Microsoft kind of fits that bill for them too. So putting stuff in Game Pass like that. So
brother, you absolutely read my mind with the games as a service. But I see in the chat you said it's about that time, man. You gotta let people know where they can find you, bro.
You find me here next week. Hopefully I'll be awake. I get some sleep, man. I had a rough day. So but yeah, I'll be here next week, man. And hopefully we get some of the topics that Dark is crying about not getting into this week. So
he probably has like all of his predictions kind of like listed in paper, like he wrote it down and everything like that. Man, you could hold on to that until next week, bro. So it's okay.
But, oh man, all right, man. I'll see y'all next week.
Later, brother.
Later, bro.
Later.
Peace.
All right, so let's go. Let's go crispy on this one. Yo, crispy. Ubisoft Plus coming to Xbox. People are saying, with Extraction, they're kind of testing the Game Pass waters here. What do you think about this news? And are you in that same boat where they're testing to possibly roll into Game Pass at some point in time?
Why you gotta be like on the same page as me? What is this? I don't like this. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I think. Extraction. I mean, Rainbow Six is probably their most successful multiplayer game. So, and the funny thing is the game did not launch well at all. It was actually pretty bad, but it continues to be, it comes down to gameplay. That's what I look at. Like the gameplay is there and people just love that. And they keep going for it. And you have Extraction and that's where I'm like, Xbox is playing a different game now. They're not saying, hey, this is a AAA game. It's timed exclusive. You can only play it on here for 1 year. Like, nah, it's just in Game Pass. And you can't hate us for it because you can go play it and pay the $60 or $70 on the other platform. We're fine with that. Got no problem with that.
We're fine.
And I'll tell you, Ubisoft has been like, they almost want to get into the good graces. You know what I'm saying? Like their games have been solid. They're not great like most of them, but they've been solid. You know what I mean? And it's like, can you do a little better, especially at launch? And it's like, no, we can't. But now it's like, if this works with Extraction, I feel like Extraction feels a little rushed, in my opinion. And it works, and they have like tons of like DLC sold or whatever, because that's what they're gonna do. This is what putting it in Game Pass is like. Hey, we could sell after, and we don't care about taking.
Oh yeah, sell
taking
cosmetics
the
and stuff like
quote
that.
unquote hits, which that's a PlayStation thought process, but hit up front when really you don't know how much Microsoft's paying, and then maybe the stipulation is to get to a certain amount of downloads on Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, and they go and say, well, we can make money off this, let's go in bigger. And that's where it says we have more details later. And I'm like, you're playing the game. You're like, oh, we're already going to put Extraction in there. We already knew we were going to do that. But now we're thinking about really partnering with Xbox. So you'll find out later if we do. You know what I'm saying? And if they say, oh, it didn't work, we're done. But I mean, Ubisoft's games are solid enough that everybody looks towards their certain like beloved. Like how many people played Far Cry 6 or Valhalla, you know what I mean? And they love it, but some people didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things like, dude, there's plenty of people that love those games. And I mean, it would make sense to be in a partnership with a company that's basically letting you rent games for a nominal fee. And even if it's just, you know, bumping up Ultimate and saying, okay, you could include Ubisoft Plus for another $5 and you pay 20. You know what I mean? That's logical to me, because at the end of the day, I look at it and I say, I spend those $5 and they're getting a kickback from Microsoft, by the way. We're not going to ignore that. They're going to get a kickback from them. But at the end of the day, I look at it as a consumer and I say $5 and I could play potentially 3 games a year that could cost me 60. Okay. So I've actually bought back for myself $50. If you think about it. If only 3 games, because I mean, last year I believe they released 6. I believe they did. Riders Republic is a Ubisoft game.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that would be a game I would play, though.
You know what I mean? So you could find 3 games out of what if they release, they at least put some time into, and you'd be like, well, this is worth it. I might hate it, but I didn't pay $60 for it. And I have this other game that I really like Riders Republic. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those crazy things where like they could play a big game, or they could be like, no, well, if you're a ultimate subscriber, you got to pay us $10. And you know what? I'll tell you, the funny thing is, it's like there's people that are still playing so many of their games. Division, freaking, you know, Assassin's Creed. I don't know how many times that once in a while I hear somebody saying, hey, I just beat that finally, or something. You know what I mean? So it's one of those crazy things where like if you're engaged into the ecosystem, they'll be like, oh, you might potentially pay us money for this skin. You know what I mean? And that's the NFT type, like wild shit that they're doing. But at the same time, they're giving you updates and everything else for nothing. So I don't know. They're kind of riding that line where it's kind of what Microsoft's doing right now. It's kind of riding that line, and I feel like if Extraction is acceptable to the community, people, you know, download it, they continue to play it, I think Ubisoft's going to be like, okay, there's something here. And like I said, it might be $5, but I mean, at the end of the day, you got EA Play, you got Ubisoft Plus, and you got Game Pass Ultimate for $20. I'll take it. I'm just saying.
Yo, shout out to Dizzy Delta. What is up, bro? He said, I won't subscribe to Ubisoft Plus separately. I might try some of their games. Very few that I might try if it's on Game Pass. They need to go the EA Play route. Now, the interesting thing about that is I believe it's something that Predator touched on, and I think Crispy as well. The whole games as a service aspect, because when it comes to a game as a service, you know, they will add content to it, and the way that they kind of make money off of that is through microtransactions, you know, cosmetics, things of that nature, and that would be where I would be like, you know what, if they're going in for, you know, most of their games doing that, going as a gas, then I can definitely see them rolling into Game Pass at some point in time. But as of right now, um, I'm gonna kind of take it at, you know, kind of like book value. You know, exactly what they're saying.
I want to say this, unless my brother Steel Rain is wrong. He said that because I'm not subscribed to Ubisoft Plus, but he is, and he said that all their brand new games are day and date.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So that's actually that's a big deal. I
Well,
mean,
it makes
this
sense
is
with the
not
games as a
this is
service.
where EA and you know what? They want to play their game. You could play 10 hours of whatever game you want to play on EA, but then you have to buy it after if it's a new release. So I don't know. I think Ubisoft has something, really good. They're going down the same route Microsoft, day and date. You want to play freaking Halo Infinite, you got it. You want to play Forza, you got it. You want to play Gears, you got it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I think they have a more substantial foothold on what they're doing, and they continue to be successful in that aspect. And I think like they're like, okay, like we see another market for this and how we could still make money, but also reach, 20 million people instead of like 5. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those crazy things where I just feel like Ubisoft's like trying to like not tread water anymore and actually be standing on it. And at this point they're like, Xbox, you have good stuff going on here. We can add on to that. And I feel like, with the Valhalla, the market deal with them, for doing that. Even Writers Republic, you saw more about that on the Xbox stage than anything. So I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those crazy things. Like they might just be talking behind the scenes.
I got you, brother. I got you, man. And again, like I think the main thing for them to possibly be talking is where Ubisoft, like they said that they are focusing in moving forward in game development with the games as a service. It does get me a little concerned for the Splinter Cell that they're working on. I'm hoping that
Well,
that
it's a
stays.
remake, so
I'm hoping that stays more traditional. Um, in terms of the Splinter Cell game. But it's definitely going to be interesting. Dark, what do you got to say about this, bro?
Um, I don't think people are gonna like what I have to say on this one.
Dun dun dun.
Don't be surprised if the price, if this comes to combine with Game Pass, don't be surprised if the price goes up on Game Pass.
Dude, I think it would
Um,
only make sense at that point in time because you have EA
right.
Play, you have all of Xbox in their first party, and
hmm
then you have Ubisoft as well. I don't see
Yeah.
them keeping it the same price then.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the same price at that point. Um, and I personally don't, even though I have Game Pass, I personally don't like gaming services, even though I know there's a value there. I just it's just they don't put games in there that I like playing, The only reason why I keep Game Pass is for the simple fact of them putting all their exclusives day one, there. Um Ubisoft, I mean, I only really ever play maybe one or two of their games a year, So like that right there is like okay, and I don't feel like paying $14.99 a month or whatever. I mean, yeah, granted, I could probably just do the whole $14.99 for 1 month, play their game, cancel it, and then when the next game comes out, pay the $14.99 or whatever again. I could always do that, which is I think okay, but for me, like if it comes down to like Assassin's Creed or something like that, I'd rather just buy it because I know I'm gonna be playing that for a while. Like I know that game's gonna be like at least 2 months of my time. Um, and usually I think for the most part I only really ever buy yeah, pretty much like one game of theirs a year. Like this year I only bought um Far Cry 6 out of their lineup that they had. Um, I tried Riders Republic, didn't really get into it. Um,
See, that looks
there's
interesting, man.
no, I mean, you guys are into that kind of racing kind of thing. I'm not into that
Oh,
stuff.
don't you
You
dare
know,
say racing. Yeah, no, racing is worldwide, bro. Worldwide.
I know it's worldwide, but it's to me, I can't get into it. It's niche, dude. Okay.
See, I was gonna say, don't use the N word.
It's niche, bro. It's niche. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Um, I feel that it's kind of cool that it's coming to to Xbox. I wouldn't doubt if eventually it comes to PlayStation as well. Um, I don't see it going into like their quote unquote subscription service, but I could see it being like, an add-on that you want to add to. Um, I think really, and I hate to say it like this, but I think PlayStation kind of uses Xbox Game Pass and Xbox as a testing ground for some of these services, like EA. Like remember when EA wasn't like ever people were like it's never coming to PlayStation, and then eventually it came to PlayStation. So like I could see the same thing with this one. Just maybe it might take less time for it to come this time around if people gravitate towards it. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said something about day and date games into that system or into that
All
service.
Ubisoft's new games go into Ubisoft Plus day and date.
Does it?
That's
Do they?
that's
My
what Fred said.
understanding, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, that's cool, but I mean,
Exclusives.
I personally don't see myself spending another $15 for a service.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm okay with just Game Pass. That's good enough. I mean, even when PlayStation comes out with their new service, it's only I probably won't even get that.
Spartacus.
I probably won't even get that. Like I personally just like having a a it's all options, but for me personally, I feel like I don't feel like I own my game at that point, So
He
I
wants
just
to pay more money.
I don't. I mean, it's not about paying more money, dude. It just depends on how much, how many games I buy a year, and some of those games don't even come to a service, so
Demon
it
Souls.
it's like you're spending money on, services, and then you're spending money on games, and it just becomes too much at that point, Um, it's like when they said, with cable, cut the cord, and then they just decided, hey, we're gonna give people subscription services, and now everybody's doing it, So it's just a matter of time of who's gonna back out. I personally don't think Xbox is one of those services that'll back out. I don't think PlayStation will. I think it'll come down to probably, if some of these companies are like, hey, we're not really um, sustaining a player base, we'll probably they'll probably back out. I mean, even I think even Don said it at one point. Shout out to him. um, he said that some of these services will go away because of the fact that it's oversaturation of them.
yeah.
um, and we haven't hit that peak yet, and then we don't know when we'll hit that peak, but that peak is coming eventually. So
Or
and
they
and it,
combine with another
or
service.
yeah, or they combine with another, which is more likely the case of what's going to happen. Like EA did with Game Pass. So I think EA will stick around because of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to pay for your subscription like this, more power to you. Go ahead.
I got you,
But
bro.
I don't see it.
You
I
just
hear you.
made my point. Thank you. Appreciate
Shout
it.
Shout out real quick to Dizzy Delta. He says, but I'll do the subscribe and cancel per game as well if there's anything I'd want to play. I haven't played an Ubisoft game all the way through since Assassin's Creed 2. I tend to get an hour in. Brother, I appreciate you talking about Assassin's Creed 2. I definitely appreciate
Yeah, for him,
Uh,
that would make sense to just do the service for 1 month. You know, like
Well,
if he knows he's only gonna play it for like an hour.
I
You
was
know?
gonna say I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and there's
What?
only one thing I do not like about that game.
Huh.
Missions that are locked behind a level, like, oh, you can't do this, you got to be level 7. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. That's a
don't
little.
I don't like that. But everything else so
They
far
took
is pretty
that
good.
they took that out in Odyssey and in
And
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
that was a
so you
little.
just get your ass kicked, or you just play on easy?
No, I won't play on easy, bro.
Or
Yeah.
you get the right weapons for it.
Well, that's one
Yeah.
thing about Ubisoft. They have, and they're kind of like UPlay or whatnot. Like, if you've played Ubisoft games, they always have something that you can download, weapon wise, like costume
Yeah,
wise, and
rewards.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. I
yeah,
did get my
yeah.
Ezio.
Need to do that comparison. Did you do that? See the comparisons between? I'm sure my name is on the top of the list when it comes to when you go to those rewards.
No,
When it comes
I didn't do any comparisons, man.
Yeah, well, go ahead and do those comparisons, and you'll see whose
Well, I
name
know
is
I won't
there.
be at the top of the list because.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, K-Mega, we've come to you when it comes
Yes.
to Ubisoft Plus, and you said you were playing Valhalla,
Oh,
so
we
you
did.
know you definitely.
Yes, I'm 150 some hours in now.
And I know
Yeah,
you definitely liked Origins. I'm not sure how you were on Odyssey,
Origins
but
was it changed everything. Odyssey made me a fan of made me an ultimate fan of Assassin's Creed. Origins got me
Yeah.
in to play
Odyssey
it
was
again.
good. Yeah.
Origins was amazing, but look at
Yeah.
it as just an individual game, right? But Odyssey made me a Assassin's Creed fan finally, and so
okay. Well,
now, yeah.
what do you think about Ubisoft Plus? You know, finally coming to Xbox, and kind of like
Uh,
the rumors that people are talking about how this is, you know, with Extraction, this is kind of like a test to see if they're gonna go ahead and roll Ubisoft Plus into Game Pass.
Yeah, no, I look at it like everybody else is saying, just kind of like a test trial, just to see how it will do. Um, I could see it going for about a year and a half, and then if it's good enough, or if however that they'll look at it from their standpoint, that it's going to be something that can benefit a Ubisoft, and they'll probably can add it into or both sides or both parties or whatever, and then they can just implement it into Game Pass. Um, and also Game Pass could also be adding more content themselves. I mean, let's not forget about what Phil said about emulators. So um, so if he's, let's just say that he wants to try to get emulation to be a big thing going forward with Xbox, so people can play older titles. And let's say that they can do that. But of course, if you want to do emulation, that's going to probably cost you some money. So if they could have a package deal to where they could get Ubisoft, the emulation thing, and then whatever else that they would be included in, and maybe put it under a $20 package, or an 18 to a $20 package, I'd get that in a heartbeat. I know that some people they would look at, but see, again, it all comes to options. See, I have to disagree with Don on that aspect of what he was saying, what he told Dark, is because all you got to do is look at television and look at what's going on with these services and why there are always new services popping up, and cable and like cable usage, or I should say usage or users, are going down because of the fact that there are so much more content that people can get that they want, and not have to worry about paying that extra fee for having the bloat, as old dude was saying last time when we was on the show. Because there's plenty of times where people can have cable, right? And then they can watch all different types of they can have all the channels on it, but then yet they only watch the certain few channels every day. And every so often they might go to those certain channels. And then when you get that bill, you're always asking, because that's what me and my wife had, we're coming up to like, why the hell do we have this? We only watch so many programs.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like you look at it and you see the services where, we have Disney Plus, we got HBO Max, we have Paramount, we have other stuff, and then we got Sling, we got I think we're probably going to get rid of the Sling and then go with YouTube TV, and then still keep the services that we have, Discovery Plus. It still comes out to be cheaper at the end of the day, even though you might be paying like close to the same amount, but it still feels like you're getting the value because you get what you want. That's
you
how
choose.
Yeah, you choose, and that's exactly how I look at this Ubisoft situation. You choose to go ahead.
But the difference is with the streaming services is you can share it with anybody. These types of services you can't just share it with anybody. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
don't. Yeah, I know that, but see, now I don't know how. I know when you game share,
Yeah, you can game share those
and you
things,
think
but you
so.
can't.
Yeah,
You
if you game
can't go
share, then you can do
beyond
that.
one. You can't go beyond one person. You
Well,
know,
I understand.
like
I understand that, but again, when you got household packages as well, and if everybody in the room could sit there and have more games available for them, I don't see how anybody would turn that down. Now, again, it's according to what the price is going to be. If the price is $10, that's going to be a little steep for people. If it's $7.99, I think it'll be perfect. But I'm trying to remember how much it is. I think it's like $11.99 on PC or something like that.
for what?
For me, for Ubisoft Plus, I think that's how much it is. I can't remember. Because
No,
I
it's
don't.
$14.99.
While you're
dude.
talking, let me check it up. Let me see.
Yeah, go check it because I can't remember because I haven't signed up for it. I'm kind of like you. I just buy Ubisoft games, but I play a lot of Ubisoft games. I mean, there's an Assassin's Creed now that I play. There's Riders Republic. There's Ghost Recon. I love the newer Ghost Recons. I know a lot of people complain about them, but it's like that. I'm going to play Extraction. I bought Siege. Play the Division. I really like Ubisoft games. I've always liked Ubisoft games. The only series that I haven't really dove into deeply is Splinter Cell.
It's
That's the only one.
$14.99 and $17.99.
Okay. So,
What's the difference between the two?
Day and date
The
value.
the multi-access one gives you cloud gaming.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
Okay. So again, it's the option of it. So that's going to be steep for a lot of people, and so it's going to be a trial. I mean, I personally I could see me jumping on it. You know what I'm saying? I could. But for a lot of other people, they're like, man, I got Game Pass. I'm good. And so that's why I do agree with everybody else where it's like, okay, let's see how this rolls for about a year and a half. And then we'll do the EA thing and then just have it be included into Game Pass. And then you just pay another $5 on Game Pass. And then everybody's going to overlook that extra $5 because they're looking like, well, shit, I get EA games and I get Ubisoft games and then plus whatever, and then plus what Xbox is offering. And then whatever second and third party indie game that they're going to be dropping on Game Pass as well, the value is just ridiculous.
But how much is that going to cost a month, though?
Probably $20, $20 to $22 a month. So, and then a package deal for however much it would be or whatever. For all those games, and then you look at it, it's like Crispy said. You can play 3 of those games and you already get on Ubisoft alone, and you already getting your money back. Let's not see that's the thing. You can't look at it and say, oh, that's 20 some bucks a month. Think about that. Do you think that people think about that? Like, it's funny when people try to be try to be bargain hunters when it comes to gaming, but they don't bargain hunt with anything else. When people buy cigarettes, or when they do that, do you think that they think about that when they go? No, they go in there and they get.
I roll my own cigs, by the way. I roll my own.
But for the most part,
I
like my mom's a
save
smoker.
hundreds of dollars every few weeks.
I got you, but like my mom's
Crispy
a smoker,
subscribes to a subscription for
right?
cigarettes.
For tobacco.
Yeah, he
Tobacco
gets
subscription.
Sure, why not?
Tobacco. Anyway, but so like my mom, she smokes, and then but she wants her certain cigarettes. And that's just how it is. I think they're gross, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But that's just neither here nor there. That people do what they want to do, right? But me myself, I look at it like people always want to try to be a pocket popper, watch what gaming is doing, but they never pocket watch anything else. Like, think about the fact that you sitting there, like, if you play games like we play games on this panel, and how listeners who are the hardcore play games, this is a no-brainer. Like, if you binge watch television, it is not going to hurt you to sit here and pay up to maybe $60-$70 a month for the content that you want. The problem when you paying for content that you have that you don't even watch, then when every time you look at the same channels that you do, and then there's shit that you don't want to watch, then that's when it becomes a problem. But when it comes to gaming, if you can sit here, and it might be, and that's the whole thing. It's just what Game Pass has been so successful. Is because there's been so many games that's dropped in Game Pass. It's just like what Dark said. Who would have thought that Yakuza would have been a hit on Xbox? Like they painted this picture that Xbox gamers don't play Japanese games, and then Yakuza, that's crazy. That is far left as you can get. That's Japanese as Japanese can be. And what has it done? It's been very successful, and then all of the collection is right there at Xbox gamers' disposal. It's the same thing with Ubisoft games. No, people going to look at Riders Republic and say, I'm not paying $60 for that game. It looks cool, but man, I ain't going to do it. But if you got it through a subscription and you play that, you say you play Extraction and you play The Division for the very first time, or the second Division, because you only played the first Division, right? Because it was on sale for like $4. And you go in there and you play that, you already got your money's worth. So that, to me, plus on top of everything else that you get with the value of what they're offering. So I think it's wonderful. I would really love it for come to Game Pass, but for them to offer it right now, just like EA did, because I subscribed to EA, bought it for 3 years up, and if the Ubisoft Plus thing is affordable to me, and I'll buy it for 2 years, and then I'll be cool with it, and then I don't have to worry about, well, damn, Ragnarok is going to be coming out for the Assassin's Creed. That's an extra $40, and I already bought the season pass and the Assassin's Creed Valhalla at full price. So if I know that I can subscribe to that, and Ragnarok comes to me without me paying, anything additional except for what I'm paying a month for all the rest of the games that I can play, it's a no-brainer because I know I'm going to play it. So I mean, I can spend that $40 on something else.
Oh, you mean the DLC? Yeah, that's included with the with the subscription.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, and then all the DLC, because I only got the base version of Riders Republic. I love Riders Republic, but of course I've been lockjaw nonstop on Valhalla until I get it done. But I want to get the season pass for that. But if I could go ahead and pay for, just pay for the service, and then I get the season pass for it, and I lock it down for a year or two, I'm straight. I get my money back because I'm going to play the hell out of the game. I'm not going to shortchange myself if I know that I'm going to play these games. Now, for other people out there that just want to say that they don't like Ubisoft games and want to mess with it, but I guarantee you this, though, this is also telling me one other thing. Splinter Cell is coming soon, real soon, because.
Do you think it's real soon? I think they're early development, bro.
Man,
I think we'll see a trailer this year, but I think we'll see it probably like in 2023, 2024.
I think that puppy coming sooner than what we think, because maybe next year. I don't think it's gonna come. When I say soon, I'm thinking of next year, because
2023, yeah, March,
yeah.
something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
probably Splinter Cell probably be a big end of the year title for Ubisoft, because Ubisoft always drops their bigger titles at the end of the year.
Big
So
That's what a
October
lot of people
release.
don't realize. Most fiscal years for companies end
Mhm.
in between April and May. So if you drop a big game before March, it inflates your you know, all the money that you've made. It actually actually puts you at a higher projection for the following year. So I mean, Sony's done this many times.
Oh yeah, they dropped.
You know,
Yeah. Sony's been
they
smart with
drop a
dropping their titles in the beginning of the year. Yeah.
ass fucking title right before the April. Like it's usually March or February.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it inflates, you know, the amount of people buying consoles or doing whatever they need them to do. And then all of a sudden you're at a point where, oh, okay, your projections for next year allow you to borrow more money. A lot of, especially like Sony, like Microsoft ain't borrowing no money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I get mad. I'm like, dude, like people are like, oh, Xbox is done, or I mean, I can't count how many times I've seen that, and I'd be like, bro, like you do realize, like, you know, this is $1 trillion company, like they can't borrow money from anybody. They allow people to borrow money from them. Like if they're
First
all
off,
in,
why would you want these companies to go away anyways in the first place?
well, no, and that's the point. And it's like, dude, Sony has its own little niche. Like, dude, they're making cars now, and they actually look kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
they do look
pretty cool.
They look pretty freaking cool. It looks like a you know, like Tesla, but a little bit like, you know, a couple
Looks
years
like
ahead.
a BMW meets a Tesla. That's what.
Yeah,
And what's
okay,
crazy
yeah,
is that
good
just
shit.
think about that. They'll do like Tesla and put like PlayStations in their cars. I mean
Could
that's
you imagine
smart.
you see people driving, they're playing fucking video games.
Well, people do it in Tesla.
Dude, I'll tell you,
Tesla
if they
has racing
invest
games
enough,
when you're parked. You use your steering wheel, and you play the racing game with your steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's
in
wild.
the car. Yeah.
Tesla
That's a little
got video games in their cars. Yeah, so yeah,
It is
matter of fact,
scary,
I think
man.
there's
That
somebody
is
that got.
scary.
I think I did
You gotta
read
be in
somebody
park,
got into
though.
a wreck with it, but I mean, you know, but the thing to me is overall is that this. I told you guys, and I'm still going to say it. This generation is going to be about features and services. That is what this is. This is going to be huge with this. And you look and see all these studios getting gobbled up by different publishers out there, and you know, it seems like that there's studios that's kind of like just throwing. It's like a reverse. Like remember when it was good to be it was great to be independent, and it was almost a bad word to say that you was going to be with a big publisher. Now it's like, take me, hey man, I'm available. And then it seems like the old guard that's been a part of the you know, these big publishers for all these years from the very beginning, they're ready to go out and do something on their own. And so now they got enough confidence and you know, and what, you know, income or whatever, disposable income, for they can now work on these new indie titles that they're going to work on going forward. But for back in the days, like I mean, just think about Double Fine back during the 360 era, like that was thumb your nose. Like, man, please be acquired. Shit, just a couple of years ago, they were like, man, where do I sign my name? So so all of this stuff that's going on, man, it's gaming is so expensive, and and people don't understand how much money is into not only just into the development of these games, but just the marketing, everything else. And yeah, you know, if you're having a part of, you know, arguing about the $60-$70 price point and all that other stuff, I get that. But at the end of the day, services is smart, because, you know, we don't own the games like we used to anyway. Even if you buy a disc,
That is true.
it just doesn't, you know, you don't. So, because if a game is an online game and they decide to shut those servers down, It's over. It's finito. And even with single player games now, it doesn't matter if it's PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo is a little bit different. But with Xbox and PlayStation, you get Assassin's Creed or something like that, or some other type of game that has some kind of online aspect to it that it has to have, and if they shut those servers down, it's over. It's over. That game is nothing. And it doesn't matter if it's a disc or if you bought it digital. So just services is kind of smart in a way, because if you get into a service and you didn't pay the full price to own that game, and let's say that the servers will go away eventually for that game, then you didn't lose out on anything, because all you got to do is just cancel your membership. So I don't know. I like services, actually. Me personally.
I got you, bro. I do. I love my Game Pass, man. I absolutely love my Game Pass. And then every month, when you start seeing like the newer games that are going into Game Pass, like when they first talk about it, you might see one like Mass Effect, the kind of like the yeah. But then all of a sudden they have another announcement right around the corner when it comes to something like Rainbow Six Extraction or whatnot. And dude, the value in Game Pass is just absolutely insane. And I'm glad I'm sub to it. But guys, that's pretty much it for now, man. Our first episode of the new season is in the bag. We got a new look for the show. Again, I will be tweaking this more and more. We have a new mascot with Senua. Now, I'm probably gonna do a different Senua picture every week for the thumbnail. So that's gonna be about close to 50 pictures, because we usually get, if we don't hit 50, we're usually pretty close to 50 by the end of the season. So if you're a big Senua fan, definitely check out the thumbnails or whatnot. If you want to support the show, you can always become a member of the channel. You can always hit up the super chat and say something crazy that we absolutely have to repeat. That's one of the unwritten rules of the super chat. But definitely subscribe. I'm going to be putting more content on this channel. I think I figured out ways to do so. My son will be working at night, so when I come home, I have a few hours before I gotta go to bed to go to work the next morning. So I'm gonna be adding more content to this channel. Putting work in. Gotta put that work in. But guys, it has been an absolute blast. And like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And of course, we are gonna start with Crispy Bomb himself. Crispy, what do you got for us, bro?
Oh man. I mean, after K-Mega slander earlier in the show, I don't know. At Chris Baum on Twitter, Chris Baum 28 Xbox Live. Find me tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Breakfast of Boom. We have Retro Renegades, 7 p.m. We have Retro Renegades, 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. And of course, you can find me back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays. Prime time.
Prime time, baby. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Yo, the Angry Otter himself, Dark Optimus. Bro, what do you got for us?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And as always, you guys can find me here on the next podcast every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, man, it was a fun show. There wasn't too much white on white crime. I swear there will be. Just you guys wait. It's coming.
It's building up. If you didn't see any tonight, that means double.
Because fuck Crispy and his fucking Gears of War. Fuck that shit.
Wow.
Yo, I will literally play you both right now.
He's like, I will destroy you.
We'll do 2v2 Nashers, K-Mega, and Dark versus me. I will gladly do it right now. I'm just telling you.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, you'll probably win that. So I'm not even gonna
Wow,
attempt.
Snega, he's speaking for
He
you, bro.
shit, he ain't gonna just run me over. I don't know who he think he is.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
get
know. Dark's talking all the shit for you. Like, come on.
No, I haven't said anything, but I'll be damned if you gonna just sit there and just come and say, "Oh, I'll take both of you on, and I won't wreck you." No, you won't. So I ain't gonna take that. I'm not gonna take no ass whooping like that. You know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
know. I'm going to Xbox.
Hey,
after this, so-
Dark's talking for you, bro. I'm just
He
saying.
ain't talking to me.
This-
I was sitting here
This
like,
is
what?
this
I
is
don't have
why
anything to do with
I
it.
stay on PlayStation.
Oh wow,
Wow,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Yo,
I can just sit in my little corner. And...
oh,
sit in
man.
my little
What?
sit in the
You
corner of
brought
the
up
stables.
Gears, dude. What do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know why my name got brought up into it though. That's what
He
was.
said,
that
"What do you
was-
say?
Yeah, I
I'll take
know.
both of you." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Who is he
like-
talking
Well, the
to?"
slanderer, I played Gears. I swear I did. I was like, yo. I was like, okay. You played Gears today. Do you want a fucking golf clap or what, bro? No, I'm
Oh,
just
golf?
kidding.
Did somebody say golf?
Yeah.
I swear somebody
No.
just said golf. Yeah, I heard
No,
golf.
no, he said golf.
Yo,
Anyway.
K Mega, like, what do you got going on, bro?
All right, man. I'm totally with you on that. Like, I've been kind of hesitant and been saying it for the last couple of years because I've been kind of not knowing what was going on with in regards to my health and my injuries or whatever. And so kind of now know what's going to be expected. So I got to get back surgery. So I'm going to be up for a real long time. So yeah, I'm going to get consistent with doing stuff. One thing that I've really never really done on my channel is just come out with just consistent content. I'm not talking about coming with shit every day because that's never been me, never will be me. But I never really just dropped out something weekly except for GRG, and so I've got another podcast.
Dude, at one point in
planned.
time, I was dropping 3 videos a week plus the
Yeah,
podcast.
you were, and so and so I've always the only thing that's been consistent has been GRG because that's just what it is what it is. But I'm going to do another podcast, and so then I'm going to put out more content. I do love streaming, so I'm going to start streaming more consistent, doing stuff for sure. Since now I know that I'm going to be out and about for a very long time. So so now since I got that, I got the clarity now, I can do that. So I'll totally feel you on that, but tomorrow night is going to be the return of the GRG podcast. I hope you guys come and check us out. Yes, Centurion will be on. We'll have One Bad Mother, and we also have Lord Addict. They'll all be on tomorrow night. Hope you guys will
Damn,
come
you're
and
gonna
check
have a
us out.
house full, bro, and that's a bunch
No,
of
just-
different
always gets
personalities.
K Mega always gets the best guest, man. Why can't you do that?
Oh my God! Stop
You
that!
wait. I got a
Disrespectful.
couple lined up right now that I haven't.
Listen to that. Listen to that.
Pony.
Oh, man, so-
You guys are either
So-
gonna love them, you're either gonna love them
Anyway.
or absolutely hate them, and I cannot wait to tell you.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to find out who you bring. But no, it's you know what I'm saying? Just do that. Because normally it's just been us 3 that's been on the show here for a while. Just me, Slayer and Genie. So, so I just kind of be more intimate again and then just kind of bring in some guests and just have a good time. Sometimes you just got to revamp, you got to do stuff. But other than that,
K
man,
Mega
we're
said you're
have a
gonna
good
get
time.
intimate with his guests.
He's getting
Yes.
intimate.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh yeah, especially when we get to bring the ladies.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, but yeah, come and check out the GRG podcast, man. Really thank you guys for the support, and all of that, man. I really do, and man, I'll be here next Thursday, and I'm still be waiting for just to get paid one time, man. I'm just waiting to get my nickels and dimes, man.
Send him a check for 50 cents. They'll be happy.
7 years, man. 7 years. Haven't got
Yeah.
one game, but I do got a game coming because if that free to play from The Last of Us multiplayer comes out, if that game is multiplayer, a free to play multiplayer, yeah, I'll be getting something for bot finally.
Really?
Is that a
Yeah.
prediction?
Oh yeah, that's a prediction. Yeah, let's go. Let's bet.
All right.
Remember my bet.
I remember the bet. Do you remember the bet? Because there's
Oh,
a little.
what? You said they were going to charge. They were going to charge. You was going to charge $70. Now I'm over. I told you that they were going to give something else. You remember, don't you?
We can call that the Halo
You said
Infinite
you said
effect.
you said it was gonna be added to the game. But
if it's free to play, then it is added.
No,
it
that's
is,
a standalone free to play game.
No, I said free. No.
See, now Bob's trying to put in stipulations.
Yeah,
you know,
How much?
I said I said that they weren't going to charge unless they'll do
trying to put in
microtransactions.
some fucking some crooked ass shit in there.
Right, and now you said that they were going to charge full $70 for it. I said I just don't see them doing that.
Oh shit, man!
You are both on neutral ground only because I remember you agreeing with him at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait a minute, come on now.
You're both on neutral ground right now. But I will say I do remember you saying that at one certain point, K-Mega. But other than that,
well,
I don't know, dude.
Bot's thrown it in my face a couple of times. I can't wait for my
brother.
It must have been private conversations.
No, he did it on the show. He did it on the show because
Stop getting all hyper. We will see what's going on with the game.
Bro. Oh, I mean, I'm getting hyper. Listen to this, hey, man.
He's like, yo, I'm getting this W.
Do we have Mooch here? What the fuck is going on, dude?
I'm getting this W. I swear.
You know what? I'm gonna make you pay for a $70 PlayStation game. Let's go.
Oh no!
Dang, man.
No.
See, Bot, I would just make you pay for a $20 game.
My heart can't take it, man.
I told y'all it was the Bot slander tonight. No,
guys. On that note, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I had an absolute blast. This is the new season of the next podcast. Definitely tune in every single week. You will see how the show evolves, how we get more features put into the show.
Your fucking money!
Oh no. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I will be moving over to Halo after this. So if you are on the Xbox and you want to roll, you want to get into some Fiesta with me, let's go. But other than that, guys, have a great night, and we will see you next week for the next podcast.
Let's go.
Prime time.
Yeah,
This is
peace,
Steve
guys.
Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.